Hello. Hi, Evie. Proto J Zero Starry. Hello. Sorry, we canceled stream yesterday, by the way. I had to go help. You know what, Zero? I'll give you a parasocial thumbs up for that one. Sorry, that's a really mean. I appreciate you. But I hope everyone's weekend is going all right. I hope everyone's Saturday was cool. I'm sorry we had to cancel stream, especially so last minute. A lot of packing stuff, and one of the plans we had that was...
I'll stop being called a pirate for indefinite time.
Indefinite? I'll be back before the end of September, probably. No, some stuff we had scheduled throughout the week got shifted for packing, and then a lot of my family was like, hey, can we, like, have dinner before you leave? And I'm sure. So a lot of stuff came up after, between the hours of like 2 and stream time yesterday. And I was trying to fit everything in and I couldn't. But we're here today. Tomorrow's stream is canceled though, because I have to go have a dinner with more family tomorrow. For people that don't know or weren't here, I will be on hiatus for most of September because I'm moving. It's not a small move either. Like I'm moving a few hundreds of miles. A few hundreds miles? Yeah, we'll go with that. A fairly big move. So it's gonna take me a minute to get settled in and to get everything up and running again for stream. But we will be back. I promise. I'm not going anywhere. Schedule after move might be a little different. Might be a little reduced. We might go from 4 days a week to 3 days, but we'll see whenever we get there. But I hope everyone's Saturday went well. Like I said, we have stuff to yap about. We might level some Dark Knight tonight. I don't plan on running until like 10 p.m. like we usually do on weekend streams, so this might be a normal 3-hour stream. We'll probably go until about 8. And I want to talk about the stuff I've been trying to talk about for the last 2 weeks, and well, Friday stream before you guys made us do EXs. So, but yeah, just stopping by to say, hope your hiatus is positive and wonderful time in general. Appreciate it, Proto. If you're still here. It should be. I mean, big, like, life change type stuff. So, who knows? We'll see. It should be positive. I don't see it being negative. But it'll be cool. It'll be fun. Anyway, I still have the same notes from Friday because we didn't get to talk about any of it. There was some stuff I saw, like Bloodborne is apparently bootable on a I think a PS5 emulator now? I think? PS4 emulator, my bad. Where is it? No, not July 7th. Where's the... All I'm finding are like the Mutahar videos. Oh, it is the PS4 emulator. So maybe one day we'll play Bloodborne. Who knows? Will this get my VOD nuked if I play this? Will this get the VOD taken down? We'll take the risk. I'm going on a extended vacation anyway. We'll take the risk. But no, I saw that yesterday. I think it was yesterday. There were reports of, was it yesterday? This is 3 days ago. I don't know if this is on emulator or on PC. No, I saw the other day that they got it to boot finally properly, but it was a black screen, and then like the next morning there was gameplay being uploaded. So hopefully Bloodborne one day isn't just trapped on the PlayStation 4 and we can actually touch it one day. That would be really nice. I'd love to play Bloodborne at some point.
Bloodborne on PC might happen sooner than you think, but not officially. And no, I'm not talking about this excellent Elden Ring mod called Great.
Okay, so this is not Bloodborne. Sony stopped blocking Bloodborne. I don't know why they don't port it. Sony has this weird aversion to the PC market that I don't understand. Especially after you watch Capcom for the first time ever take a franchise, in this case Monster Hunter, from a portable focused market and go, yeah, why don't we put it on PC and console? And they put it out on all the consoles and they go, oh shit, World sold really well. And then they put it out on PC, and because of PC, it became Capcom's best-selling title, period. Which is wild. But I don't understand why Sony, even after seeing... Okay, if you don't know about the gaming industry, this is going to sound really fucking weird and targeted. There's a very long history of just Japanese developers being a bit obtuse about PC support in general. And it took World coming out on PC and becoming Capcom's best-selling title of all time because of it, for a lot of Japanese studios to start to go, oh, maybe the PC market should, have some attention paid to it. A big example of a studio ignoring the PC market is probably Atlas, Persona's developer. I think it's Atlas. Atlas makes Persona, right? Before I look actually really fucking stupid and ignorant, let me make sure I'm getting my video game industry lore correctly. Yeah, Atlas. No, Atlas, yeah, developed and published by, okay. Atlas has always been weird about that, and they're even weirder with stuff like streaming requirements and just shoving spoilers all over the emails they send out for streamers and everything, which is weird, but whatever. I'm not going to get into them. It's weird that Sony still has this aversion, and we saw it with the new CEOs coming, and we talked about it a few months ago, where their target plan seems to essentially be to put the initial games on PC and then use the bait of a sequel to get PC players to play on console, which is really fucking weird because I'm just not going to play the game then. Like, as a PC player, I just will not play the first game if I know you're going to do that. Heyo, hi, Wing. I don't know if I said hi already. There's a Bloodborne Elden Ring mod. That's what's being shown off here, apparently. They fully expected World to fail. I didn't hear that. I did not hear that World was expected to fail. I will say it was interesting watching Capcom put out a PC port that was, I'm going to be honest, because I bought it day one, not good. World was terrible. For people that weren't there, the optimization was a big problem, and the biggest issue with the optimization was if you were on the far west side of the map and there were 3 monsters on the far east side of the map, they would still be being I don't think they were being rendered in, but all of their movement and interaction was still being calculated as if they were rendered in still, which was putting a lot of strain on people's systems. And then we had the wonderful issue where there's no ultra wide support. All of the settings just did not work. And it took until post Iceborne for them to fix the goddamn water reflection setting to actually work properly. Because for a long time it was inverse. So if you put it on high, it would be set to off. If you put it on off, it'd be set to high. Then they broke it completely and it didn't work, period. It also tanked your frames for some stupid reason, even though it really didn't do anything visually. Then Iceborne came out, and we had this hilarious moment after they had introduced proper key binding support and proper settings customization to an almost absurd degree. I'm going to be honest. Monster Hunter World settings and just options as a PC player they knocked it out of the park. That game feels great on keyboard and mouse. You can play it on keyboard and mouse. I don't recommend it, but it feels fantastic. But Iceborne came out, and they pushed an early build of Iceborne to all of the PC market on Steam, which created a bug where if you started up the game, it would tell you that your save file was not compatible, and you had a box that just said OK. And if you clicked OK on that box, it would nuke your save file. So the only option to not nuke your save file on boot when Iceborne launched was to Alt F4 out of the goddamn game immediately and not hit OK on that box. On top of that, we had the early version containing a secondary version of the anti-cheat. So people were reporting booting up Monster Hunter and their lights were dimming because their computer would draw so much power. Because two anti-cheats were running side by side, and each one was scanning every single goddamn file in the directory over and over and over again constantly, leading to an immense amount of reads on people's drives and writes possibly. Iceborne had a hilariously botched launch. Still a crazy good game. They fixed it all. They committed to it. I don't know why Sony doesn't just do what Capcom did. World does have the best options I've ever seen in settings. Picking the fucking button icons between Xbox and PlayStation. It's crazy. Because I was there on launch and I would describe it as No Man's Sky levels of bare bones. It was crazy how sparse the port was on release and what it is now. It's honestly wild. They did a damn good job with it. But I don't know why Sony has this attitude towards the PC market. Just release Bloodborne on PC. Just release Bloodborne, release the Demon Souls remake. Metal Gear Solid 4 is on its way, so hooray. That's a Konami thing, though. That's not Sony. What was the other game? There's another game that's like trapped on PlayStation that drives me nuts. Bring Lair to PC. That's a deep cut. Every single other game tries to do it auto or based off Steam settings, which always does Xbox without some serious meddling. I mean, I'm not saying this to hand wave. I've never had an issue with that. I don't care what the button prompts say. I'll remap it in my head basically. So if I see the X button, it's A. If I see the square button, it's X. I know not everybody's brain works that way, but no, there's games like that on Steam that I tried to play Darksiders last week and I couldn't. I couldn't because it's just broken. I don't know what's broken specifically. I can't use the Fury mode or War mode or whatever that the game has. I have tried multiple different Steam controller overlay thingies, like the little layouts that you can download. I've downloaded like 7 and none of them work, and I literally cannot play the game properly, and I don't know why. I'm using an Xbox controller. I don't know what to do with it. Which is annoying because I wanted to play Darksiders. I really wanted to play Darksiders again. Steam has too many games already, though. What do you mean? Not even too many games. You're crazy. Like, I tried to play ODST yesterday because we were talking about it on stream the other week, and boy, it had me nostalgic for it. And I downloaded ODST, Didn't work. It was corrupted somehow on download, and I had to re-download the whole collection again. But like, I don't even know where I was going with that. I just wanted to talk about ODST for a second. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know where I was going with that. Let's wheel that back to to Darksiders and everything. Steam's ability to let you remap everything is nice, but I feel like when it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Period. So losing train of thought about 5 stops back. Look, it's been a very hectic day. All right. I've been very, very busy. ODST is such a great game. She only got 1 game in the event. Yeah, I know, right? Like I booted it up and I was about to launch ODST. It's great. I don't miss Bungie's hand animated cutscenes. I will say that. I don't miss their hand animated cutscenes. At least in games like ODST or in moments where they obviously weren't, you know, spending a lot of time on it, because the intro cutscene to ODST, you could... They're animated like action figures. I don't know how to just... Here, let me just pull it up. Let me pull up ODST's like intro cutscene. Man, okay, sorry, this is going to be random to bring up. YouTube's recommend system is so strange. I'm logged into the archive channel right now. I'm not on my main channel. And it is 2 things that I do watch, which is Oni Plays and Xeno. I've never watched Terminal Montage on this channel. I don't know who Pack is. We have the stream music, yeah, whatever. But like, and then there's Metal Gear stuff that is. I don't understand YouTube's recommend system. I don't watch anything on this account. It's accurate, but it's like shotgunning my new account that I don't watch content on with things I might like. Let me pull this up though. Hold on, I do want to, for people that don't remember. Is it this one? Whenever Buck and Veronica are talking. Yeah, it's when Buck and Veronica are like talking up close. They just looked like little action figures to me, and I don't miss that.
Replacements?
This many years into the war, who isn't?
At least they listen.
To me. And they're not gonna like what they hear.
Orders are orders.
Come on, Veronica. What could be more important than that carry?
My orders. And Buck, call me Captain. I'll pass on that dance, but you can show me where to sit.
Man, the music is so good. Buck's face is so good there. I love Buck's face here. But no, there's something like it's charming. I'm not gonna say it's bad because it's not. It's a different way of animating them, but just I don't know. It's distracting to me. I guess I'm used to the mocap used in modern Halo games and a lot of games in general. Bungie had a very specific animation style, and it's recognizable. And yes, I love the Halo 2 cutscenes. I like the Halo 3 cutscenes. But going back after not playing it for a while, it loses some of the gravity. It just kind of pulls me out of it. But it's still great. ODST is still awesome. But no. Back to Sony. Maybe we'll see them start to pull stuff to PC properly, but with the new CEOs coming in and talking about what they did in regards to their plan of using sequels as a way to get people onto consoles, I have no faith. I have no expectation. There was a little thing that I wanted to talk about, which is why I brought all of this up, that came up. So, wait, that's the wrong one. There we go. This hit the PlayStation 4 store a few days ago. I'm assuming it's a typo. I'm going to just use Occam's razor and go, oh, it's a typo. We're not getting this. But on the PlayStation Store for Red Dead Redemption 1, the little descriptor paragraph said, experience the epic Western adventures that defined a generation, now on PC for the first time ever. And I assume this is a collection because it mentions Red Dead Redemption 2. It mentions Undead Nightmare, the little horror DLC thing we got. It's a shame we don't get DLC like that anymore. And Red Dead Redemption 1. And then it was later updated to not say that. They just removed that part for this little multi-pack. But maybe we'll get Red Dead Redemption on PC finally. I don't know. Probably not. I don't know what's holding up Rockstar in 2K from porting over RDR1. I know there's the explanation of the spaghetti code, and RDR1 was a nightmare on the programming side, and that's why it was never ported to anything. It's fine, whatever. But like, come on, it's Rockstar. They have a money printer. Just granted, that money printer also just did the laziest job possible with the Grand Theft Auto Anniversary Edition. So I don't know. Maybe we don't want RDR1. There's too many games that don't get ported to PC that honestly, at this point, I think it's kind of inexcusable that we don't get them. It's ridiculous. But who knows? Anyway, can we finish that video that we were watching?
Has emerged. It is a very early build, but huge progress has already been made. You can see for yourself on shadps4.net. It's a little premature to get too excited, but up to this point, no emulator has been able to boot Bloodborne like this at all. Now we are able to boot it up and even walk around in-game, albeit behind a black screen.
Okay, so yeah, this is where it was 3 days ago, apparently, I guess. Like, with just a black screen. And then today, I saw that there... Let me see if I can find it. Today, I saw that there was actual just... Oh, they're just in the game now. Bloodborne PC emulation. Is it here? Okay, so there's that one. I know Mudahar tweeted this out. Yeah, hold on. Here it is. And apparently they're at this point now where there is actual proper gameplay where you can walk around. So, hooray. That would be cool. I'd be very, very excited to play Bloodborne finally. Granted, I don't think I would do it on stream because we tried DS3 on stream and I was having a blast with DS3 until after, was it the Abyss Watchers? I think it was that boss fight. We got past the Abyss Watchers and I don't know. I'm sure it's jarring on stream when we just drop games randomly. Because I don't think it's obvious if I'm not having fun or not. Because I usually am having fun, and then I hit in stream, and about an hour after that, I'll usually go, yeah, I think I'm done with that. I think the only time I've been super obvious with it was with Alien Isolation, where the alien got stuck on a table, and I very loudly went, yeah, I think that's enough of Alien Isolation. And then we just stopped playing it. But I feel like with most games, it looks like I'm having fun with it still, and then we just don't play it again.
This may not seem like much, but as word spreads, progress will hopefully ramp up. To put things, there was a red tint on the screen, and it would crash if you tried to start the game.
Okay, so yeah. This is about where we were with the black screen, and then... Did this... Make a short out of this. Does this need to be a whole video? But no, if this if this gets properly emulatable, if that's a word, I don't know. We might do one stream of it and then we'll check it out. I'll do it. I'll play the rest off stream and then I'll talk about my thoughts on Bloodborne. But I don't know. I still want to give it a shot. Even though I feel like I'm drifting away from Souls games as far as what my interests are, which kind of sucks. I'm going to be honest. I grew up with the Souls games. I don't know, they're special to me, but I just don't have fun with them like I used to. I find the combat fun, but I think FF14 has just taken over so much of what I enjoy from games. And yeah, I complain about FF14 a lot, but if it's not a platformer or a rhythm game, I kind of just don't want to play it right now. I'm in a weird spot with games again. I'm in this weird spot where I want something strange and unique. Kind of like Greener Grass Awaits. We played about half of that. And I didn't do the rest because I felt like I saw everything. And Flim told me I didn't. Flim told me immediately. He was like, he asked me how far I got. I told him I got to like the 7th hole or something. He's like, oh, you didn't see anything yet. And I've thought about going back to it, but I don't know exactly how I can best pick that game back up on stream. Especially after this long of a little break between the first half and the second half. Because apparently it gets more interesting. But I don't know. I just haven't been interested in a lot of the genres that I used to be interested in. Is this what getting old is like? Like, I'd love to go play. I don't know. Halo Reach again. It's like I only want to play ODST again because we were talking about it and I'm like nostalgic for it now. I don't know. We'll see if Sony ever does anything with PC stuff, but I'm not holding my breath for anything with Sony at this point. I've learned not to. What I do want to talk about that we've been putting off, Pro Jared put up a video called The Problem with Dawntrail. And I'm curious because I stream FF. Ever played Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor? You might like it. I have. God damn it. About to move on to actual content. I have, though. I have 33 hours on that game. I beat it. It's super good. Shadow of Mordor is the Batman Assassin's Creed formula perfected. That's my opinion on it. They nailed it. Monolith did such a good job with that game. I have not played Shadow of War. I avoided it because of all the loot box nonsense that came up about it. And then I want to say, even after they fixed it, I still just didn't care. I didn't want to bother with it because I thought it was gross. And on top of that, honestly, Warner Brothers has left such a bad taste in my mouth because of them. I think they patent the Nemesis system. The Nemesis system might be one of the funnest little background things that I've seen in a game that you have to deal with. And now no one can use anything like it because I don't know why. I do not get why they had to patent it. But Shadow of Mordor is great. I love that series. Or that game, anyway. Very, very fun. The story was good, too. As like a little original story in the Lord of the Rings universe. Super good. I really enjoyed it. Shadow of War was good enough for me. I mean, can you even feel that there were microtransactions in there? Because I've heard it's good. At most, I've heard it drags a little bit in the latter half, but it's like, that's fine. A little bit of dragging is okay. Love the Nemesis system. It's so good. It's the minigames on the loading screen all over again. Yeah. No, it is. Okami has little mini games on their loading screen. Okay, well, they're not mini games. You just press a button and little paw prints appear, but I digress. I love the Okami loading screen. I think Okami has my favorite loading screens. And you don't, it doesn't even do anything. You just mash the A button and paw prints appear. Or you have the other one where it's let me see if I can find it for you guys. Because I actually find the loading screen very weirdly interesting. Is it this one? It's not this one. Is it this one? No, oh, I just want the loading screen. No, I don't want a streamer starting soon screen. I just want the loading screen. This isn't the one I want. This one's just covering it with paw prints. It's not the one I want. Is it this one? Yeah. This one. This one's really satisfying. So it's, if you don't press anything, you get the normal small paw prints. But if you time your presses with the actual paw prints, like a little rhythm game, you get the big paw prints. It's super, super cool. Wait, you get a demon fang out of it? Hold on. You get demon fangs out of that? Hold on. What? Oh my god, I didn't know that. There's no way I didn't do this and didn't get this. This doesn't... Hold on. Does this work on the PC version? Hold on. No. I'm tempted to boot up Okami HD right now. I'm tempted to boot this thing up right now and just test it. There's no way. Hold on. How do you... Okami loads between zones, right? So if I just go to a zone in Okami, we can just test it right now, right? Hold on. There's no way. Come on. I've played this game way too many times. There's no way. Hold up. Hold on. There's no way. I don't even know if OBS will pick up Okami, I'm going to be honest. It might not. Oh, this might be super loud, actually. This might be incredibly loud. Oh, is it going to pick it up? There it goes. Hold on, we got to test this. Hold on. Uh-oh, I can't get back into the game. There it is. Oh man, Okami's so good. You don't like Okami? I can't help you. Hold on though. Okay, continue. Okami. Okay, hold on. We gotta test this. Hold up. Okay, well, it's just this one. Do you just get demon fangs for covering most of the screen? Oh my god, you do! Did that get me anything, though? Hold on. Where do you see your demon fangs? Hold on. 65. Shit, I don't know how many I had. Okami stream, let's go. Hold on. Let me go into another loading zone really quick. Maybe we should do Okami. Okami's so long, I don't think it'd make it for a good stream. Because it is long. It's really quiet too. Why is it so quiet? There we go. It is way too long. Because for people that don't know, Okami's a game that is... Nope, it's just this again. Hold on. Okay, we were at 65 last time, right? So this should put us at 66. You can get demon fangs by just doing that. How? I have played this game for years and never knew that that's how that worked. That's wild. Can I go back outside? I can't go back outside? Why am I stuck here? Okay, fine. How do I use the little... How do I do the... How do I do the teleporty thingy? I don't remember how to do the teleport. I haven't played this in so long. Water spout, water lily, no. Bloom, cherry, no. Yeah, this might not be it. I don't know how to do this. Water spout? Don't I have to like hit a button at it? And I drop a bead? Mermaid coin. Hold on. You all got me sidetracked. Hold on. Okay. We'll go here to where the cannibals are. That's wild. You can get demon pigs from just doing this. That's crazy. I did not know that. I can't. Okay. Well, that at least shows that you can get the demon fangs. Anyway. Back to what we were talking about. Me since I've played Okami. I love Okami. Okami's so good. What a good game. I could have put us back on FF really quick. Because it still says we're playing FF14. But no, I don't think we could do Okami on stream because for people that don't know, Okami is a game that pretends to be 40 hours long. And you get to the final boss. And you beat the final boss. And then credits don't roll. But you get a credit sequence with no credits over it. And then the game goes, oh no, you've only seen 2/7. Bleh. You've only seen 2 sections of the map. There's 7 more to go. And you go, what? Excuse me? And then I think his name's Ishin, your little like cricket buddy, goes, yeah, we still need to do all these other things, Amaterasu. And then the game keeps going for another 40, 50 hours. It's a lot of people don't like that about it, and it's really, really, really meaty. It's a very chunky game. I love it. But I will admit, Okami's very long on your first playthrough. Okay, all these people on Okami stream approved. Okami's awesome period. We might do it at some point. If we do it, we could do it on the old stream. Also, all these people on GameFAQs and everywhere going, it takes about 30 to 45 hours to be... Y'all are crazy. If you think the first time through... Someone's good. That's like saying, oh, your first Dark Souls 1 playthrough is going to be about 30 hours. No, your first Dark Souls playthrough is going to be 60 to 80. And if it's not, congrats. You missed something. You missed a lot of stuff, probably. But if you played the game like a crazy person, so normally, Okami's got so many collectibles and things to go find. And the world's just fun. I just like being in the world of Okami. So there's a lot of just wandering around and picking stuff up and like doing things. And I don't know. Okami's very, very solid to me. I adore it. And it's got great music. You know what? Hold on. Can I play like my... Hold on. I think my favorite song from Okami is Cursed Shufield. It's super, super pretty. It's a shame too because it's the first part of the game and then you remove the curse and you never get to hear this song again, and it's really awful that it's just gone. But it's a really good overworld theme. I love it. It's so nice to just run around in. Granted, the area is not as pretty when it's cursed because it's, you know, Everything's dying. There's monsters everywhere, but I do love this music. Okami is so pretty. I can't believe Okami was a PS2 game. I can't get over that. I'm going to be stuck on that no matter how old I am. That Okami was a PS2 game because, man, its art style is crazy. The art style seems ambitious to me for PS2. Especially whenever you look at the HD edition and it's rendering itself at 4K internally and then downscaling without any performance issues, which is wild. Especially as a port. All right, I'll think about an Okami stream. I'll think about doing it on the main channel whenever I get back from hiatus. Because it might take me a minute to get back into stream anyway. So we can dedicate a day to Okami days. We could call them Okamondays. That is why it's great to fix part of the world from the darkness with a brush, no less. Okami's so fucking cool. What a cool moveset too. Like you play as a dog that swings around these sacred objects, and like you get a sword eventually, and then like you paint with your tail as a brush, like summon bombs or strike enemies or like move water or summon lily pads to. Okami's so creative, honestly. It's so good. Even if it isn't someone's type of game, I feel like you have to respect it for how incredibly unique it is. Because it is really pretty. It holds up so well. It doesn't look old. It looks unique. Man, fuck this trailer too. Showing you what looks like, oh, this is the whole story, right? This is the no, cool. This is not the climax. This is the halfway point. This trailer's also terribly misleading. With a wolf, a tick, and a brush, the world fixed. Oh my god. Wait, that's the same Hal from Twilight Princess. So pretty. So pretty. This whole game is art. Forgot you could do the little Rock Lee, I forget what he calls it. I forget what Rock Lee calls that move where he jumps up and wraps people in his bandages. I also always love the way the characters in Okami talked. I think they're the only characters that I find more charming than the Animal Crossing characters. Yeah, maybe we should play this on stream. Even if it's an alt stream. There's so many interesting fights. Fucking Waka. The Waka fights were so much fun. It's really interesting playing it if you've been following Platinum and you played Okami and then you played like Bayonetta and Metal Gear Rising and they're more modern titles because there's so much in there that you can feel from their modern titles that they've refined and actually kind of perfected. But in Okami, it's still got that weird jank to it where they were kind of figuring it out. Hey, oh, hi, Mike. Welcome in. How's your weekend going? What if we just play Okami tonight? There's no way I could start Okami before hiatus. That would be really fucked up. Okami's super good though. Adore this game. I haven't played Okamiden. I never played the sequel on the DS. And I know Kamiya has talked about very recently even wanting to do more Okami. So it would be sick if we could get a sequel eventually. Because there's actually, I don't think I have it open. Maybe I do. Hold on. No, I do not have the video still. Adding HD version to the wishlist right now. It's so good. Go buy it. It runs really well. There's actually a really, really good shader mod for it that, and this is a personal like taste thing. It allows you to, what's the way I can describe this? Let me find a good screenshot to point out what I want to point out. It allows you to control the thickness of these edge lines on everything. So like on the cherry blossoms here, on the Torii gate here, and the cliff edge. It allows you to control the thickness of these lines. And reducing the thickness of these lines by like 30%, I think makes the art so clean looking. Granted, it looks great. I'm not going to pretend this doesn't look fantastic. But whenever I was running the shader mod, I would drop the line thickness down to like 60, 70%. And I thought it made everything look a lot cleaner. Because a lot of this felt like, due to it coming out in a time period when we were still on CRTs and everything, it was kind of overemphasized on purpose. But that's a personal thing. Like, I feel like it's overemphasized just due to the low resolution of displays back then. So with the game rendering at 4K internally on the HD version, I think it looks better to reduce these lines a little bit. But it's not an easy shader to get running. I remember having trouble with it, so it's not a big deal. It's not even something I'd recommend. It was a bit of a pain in the ass. Because you have to install Reshade, and then it has to be like a custom version of Reshade on instead of just the most recent, which has its own problems. And then you have to go find the specific shader file, and I don't think the shader's updated anymore. So you have to go to some weird Steam forum to find it, and then blah 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 blah. Whatever. Go play Okami. Go enjoy it. Super good game. Anyway, I'm doing great. Good to hear, Mike. Let's actually sit down and watch this, because it's been a week that I've been trying to watch this video on stream, and I have not been able to because we keep talking about other shit.
The new Dawntrail expansion to Final Fantasy XIV was so hotly anticipated, particularly because this was the beginning after the end. The previous expansion, Endwalker, took a decade-long story and managed to wrap it up in a wonderful finale that left people wondering where they would go next.
And where they would go next is to a Realm Reborn style world building to allow us to build up to another Endwalker at some point. And people don't understand that, and people keep throwing fits about that for some stupid reason that I do not understand. Something cop-out take of low attention span TikTok brain. I don't know. I don't think it's that simple, but
I get it, that's no easy feat. You completed the main story and have to start something new from there. That's going to be tough. But as the internet loves to worship and idolize, if there was one man that could follow it up and knock it out of the park, it's Yoshi P. And let me tell you, he did not. Dawntrail is by far the weakest of all iterations of Final Fantasy 14. I wouldn't even call it lukewarm. It's closer to like Greg Warm. It underwhelms, it's unengaging, and sidelines the player character to a fundamental NPC who exists only to solve the actual main character's problems. And
okay, I'm not going to comment on the being sidelined part because I want to see if he'll go into it. I disagree with saying that it's the weakest. I'm sorry. If anyone is going to say this is weaker than a Realm Reborn at its strongest, go back and play a Realm Reborn, please, and look at it as a whole. I do not think it's weaker than that. A Realm Reborn is still the weakest part of this game. I do not think we're going to be talking to people in a year going, yeah, just get through Dawntrail. The way we go, yeah, just get through a Realm Reborn. This takes so cold is making things float on magnets.
These problems all come down to the main story, the motivation, the expository world building, underbaked ideas, and let's be honest here, Wuklamot. All of it comes down to a single key thing: execution. And none of them fired off like they should have. Also, in case it wasn't clear, some story spoilers are going to be throughout. I also want to be
Okay, I'm curious if he's gonna have a similar opinion to me with Wook. I've said this on stream multiple times, and by the end of it, I was very much like, yeah, I came around on Wuklamot, and she's fine as a character. I still have the same problems with her. I still think she is written to be incredibly... How do I phrase this? I feel like her emotional state and her emotional intelligence is written to be almost... I'm gonna let this come out first. Sound alerts? Hello? There we go. I feel like Wook's emotional intelligence and state are both completely subservient to what the script needs at that point in time. And we saw it with the cutscenes around the, I think it was it the Ixbrox area? Where it was right afterwards. It was before she gets kidnapped, I think, or right after she gets kidnapped. And there was at least 2 instances in the story where she was explicitly going, oh, I can't do this. Woe is me. Like, how can I ever, I'm too weak. How could I ever stand up next to my brothers and blah, blah, blah. And you get an option to tell her as the Warrior of Light some form of motivation or some form of encouragement. And her reaction to that is every time she looks at the camera like fucking Pedro Pascal does. I love this video. Maybe we should I add this as like a should I add this?
And it can
Should I add this as like for people that don't know what this is?
and it continues to sort of burn. But I've gotten to the point. You should know this too.
I fucking love this clip. But no, I feel like every time the Warrior of Light tells her something that's encouragement, she goes, yeah, turns to camera or Warrior of Light and goes, you're right. I should do insert whatever you said here. And you know what? I will. And I'm perfectly healthy now. Depression resolved. Issue obliterated. I cannot stand that about her writing in Dawntrail. I think it's the part that makes her a weak character because I don't buy Wuklamot's internal is a constitution the word I want here? Like her internal confidence in her mindset in the moment seems to just change when the plot needs it to, instead of changing in a way that makes sense. A good example would be Hades, Emmett Selk or Elidibus, where you get to slowly watch them realize that they're incorrect or they have doubts, but they cannot falter from their path. Instead of getting Wuklamot showing these doubts and dealing with them in a way that is over multiple cutscenes, she voices them in a cutscene, and then in the same cutscene, her doubt is resolved. Without any question, without any issues. There's no tension behind it. She's just, man, I'm depressed. Man, I'm not depressed now. You have solved my issue, main character. Thank you. Dawntrail's probably considered weak because it's incomplete, like ARR is incomplete without the rest of the expansions. Yeah, that's where I am with it. I think it's unfair to say Dawntrail's the weakest. I still stand by my rankings I gave on stream right after we beat it, where I think the order I gave it in the terms of emotional gravity, and at least in impact for me, was I think Dawntrail, Shadowbringers, Endwalker, Heaven's Word, Stormblood, and then A Realm Reborn. And I still stand by that as far as emotional impact. As far as narrative strength, like Dawntrail is above Stormblood, just completely. I think A Realm Reborn's at the bottom. Stormblood is second place, like second on the tier, and then Dawntrail, and then Endwalker, and then Shadowbringers. And then Heaven's Word is at the very top for me. But I'm biased towards Heaven's Word because I love that it's presented as a storybook, as a memoir of Edmond de Forteau. I think I just love it. It's why I like Shrek 1 and 2 so much, because it opens with a storybook every time, and I think it's fantastic.
Clear that while Dawntrail's story is subpar, all the gameplay stuff with it is still top notch. Seriously, these are some of the coolest dungeon bosses that were a blast to fight against for the first time. Also,
This boss is terrible. I don't care what anybody says. I hate this boss fight.
the level 99 8-man trial was actually tough and took me multiple attempts, which quite frankly was really nice to see. The core gameplay of Dawntrail is still excellent and pops off immediately. The instances are still fun from the get-go. Good stuff here, besides the main story quests. Probably the biggest sludge trying to wade through from the start is the world building shoved into every single line of dialogue. I'm not against world building, don't get me wrong. Everything they set up in Turtle is interesting, and it's nice to see a widely different style of culture from everywhere else in Eorzea. What isn't good is the way they presented it all. None of
Okay, if I'm hoping he brings up A Realm Reborn, because if we're going to talk about world building, we have to talk about A Realm Reborn. If we're going to talk about any of the flaws with Dawntrail, you have to look at it in the lens that it's in, which is the first book of a new series. It is the first chunk of new chapters that we're getting to set up a whole new thing after we literally just wrapped up something. Like, it ended. Endwalker was the end. You could walk away from FF14 and that's it. There was no cliffhanger at the end of Endwalker. It literally ended with everyone looking at the Warrior of Light and going, "What are you going to do next, Warrior of Light?" And you go, "I don't know. Maybe another adventure or something." And then a Meteon bird flies off and it says Finn in the goddamn sky, basically. Like, that's the end of the story. Like, this world building is what happened in A Realm Reborn.
it is organic or diegetic or whatever word you want to use to sound like you're smarter than you actually are. It's all exposition, constantly spouted out and said to the player instead of letting the player discover anything so that it has context. Without context, it goes in one ear and out the other. There's a part early on where you go to these pillars and you're supposed to click on them to learn more about the history of Tuliolo, which is literally just me reading a textbook. Given people's attention spans these days, that isn't going to land with most of the player base. It's all exacerbated by the app.
Okay, I like that part, and most of the player base of FF14 are 30 years old plus. They're adults. They're at the youngest 25. They're people that probably are used to reading things and actually consume media that doesn't just TikTok brain them. Like, I don't know. I disagree with that point too. But this might be the most I'm going to disagree with the video ever on stream. Like, I understand the possible complaints with the exposition just being constantly thrown at you, but as someone who doesn't mind that type of narrative delivery when you're setting up a new big world or like a new big component of something, I don't see a problem with it. And even just from a narrative perspective, I don't think it's inherently the wrong way to present a story's context, especially in an MMO. An MMO that we're used to reading in, by the way, because most of the stuff in the game is unvoiced anyway. I complained about it a lot through Dawntrail that things should have been voiced. I complained about it in Shadowbringers that things should be voiced. The only expansion that I don't think I complained too much in was Endwalker, because they did voice almost every cutscene that I feel like they should have voiced. Granted, there were probably one or two, but I can't even think of them. I can think of the Shadowbringers cutscenes that made me really upset. The biggest one is probably when Lena is saying goodbye to the Exarch. We don't get that voiced, and I feel like it should have been. but I digress.
Absolute cascading deluge of proper nouns spouted off in every single sentence. Like, keep account of how many of these are over-seasoned into the dialogue. You can't go 2 steps without a single paragraph of someone saying a plethora of names of people you haven't met, places you've never heard of, and titles that are supposed to mean something. In the first hour, you hear words like Mamulja, Zaralja, Goluljaja, Jelbal, Hihimaha, Telubabu, Jabrulal, and Tonawata. And I only made one of those up. I felt like I needed a sheet of college-ruled paper with notes written in different colored gel pens just to keep up. There's nothing inherently wrong with these. They're all names of people or cities or alternate words of ones we already know. All of that is fine. It takes a long while before you finally pick up on what word means what or who as you progress through the story, but it's a massive obtrusion early on that leaves the player lost and wondering what the hell they're even doing and why. It's too much too fast without room to explain or absorb that information before learning the next terminology. It'd be like if you saw some people playing a cool new board game and they say, "Hey, would you like to play with us?" And you say, "Sure, but I've never played this before. How do I play?" And then they explain all the rules by speaking in HTML code. Again, nothing wrong with world building, but how you do it matters, and this ain't the way. This also
I feel like the context is important again for this, though, where we got slammed with stuff like this in Heavensward. The moment we went to Ishgard, and then we went to Cloudtop, and then we went to Ozzy's Law, and then we went to Annex Shrine, we were getting slammed with stuff like this, but it wasn't 100% of the context because we were still on Eorzea. We were still on our home continent. We were still surrounded by people and places and cultures that we've been around the whole time. So we were just kind of finding niche little pockets. But I feel like this was the first expansion where, no, we're just in a whole new area. Like there is culture shock that is going to happen. And being bombarded with these new things, I feel like that was part of the intention. I feel like that was part of the experience. It was meant to be very heavily focused on, honestly, just making sure you felt like you were in a new region that you've never been in before. And there's all these things that are new to you and confusing and you don't understand them. And I think it's fine to go through Dawntrail and not remember all of this stuff. I don't think you're supposed to or expected to remember everything about like what Ihihana was or what the, I forget their names, the little like the ceramic goblins. I forget their names. I don't remember anything about them because I didn't care about their area. I thought their little segment was dreadfully boring. But like I remember the Mamulja stuff. I remember what we had to do in Mamook, and it was all interesting. But do I remember all of it? Do I remember? No, I do remember most of it. I remember all of the important things about Mamook now that I think about it. I wanted to make an argument of like, you know, I was paying attention. I was reading it all on stream, and some of it didn't stick, but I think I remember most of it. I remember the blessed sibling situation. I remember like that it was implying this dark scenario where the women of Mamook were being essentially coerced into breeding as much as possible to make more and more offspring to increase the chances that they'd be blessed children. And then if they weren't, I'm assuming they would be allowed to just, I don't remember if they mentioned if they would be allowed to live or if they were killing them off. I do know that the jars in the Skydeep Synode were filled with failed children that died shortly after childbirth that were blessed siblings. And only, I think it was like what, 1 in 50 survived or something. I forget what Bako Jaja says, but I don't know if you can go through and you just miss a bunch of stuff and say it's too much because you don't remember anything. Where it's, yes, it's front loaded, but did you burn through these cutscenes? Like, did you actually try to take it in is my question, instead of just spamming through dialogue and whatnot? Because I know a lot of people do that. A lot of people skip cutscenes in this game. Hell, you guys think it's annoying when I'm skipping cutscenes, and this is no shade at Vivi, but it could be worse. I'll just say that. But even someone who skips every line of dialogue in a voiced cutscene before it's over is still reading it in this case. And it's like, if you're reading it and paying attention, I don't think it's too much. I don't think it's too much to pay attention to. So I don't want to just say like skill issue, but maybe the expansion just wasn't that interesting to you from a narrative perspective if it wasn't attaching to you the way, like, I don't know, it attached to me. I don't remember a goddamn thing about the ceramic goblins. I don't even know their name. I'm calling them ceramic goblins. I don't know what their name was. I don't care about them. They were boring. John Fontaine or whatever his name was. I don't care about that character. He was dull. He could be removed, and I would not know a difference. It's just traumatic to see your newborn die or even miscarriage in general. Oh, yeah. For sure. Like, can I relate to that? No. Can I appreciate the weight that it has narratively? Maybe. And I say maybe because it needs to be presented in a way that conveys that emotion to me cleanly. It's a good example would be like, no one likes to see like a friend die. And then we smash cut to here, you know what? I'll just fucking pull it up. I'm keeping this up though. This is so funny. I gotta make a redeem of that. Hold on. I don't know if I can even find it. Spoilers for Heavy Rain, by the way. Where is it? Where's the scene? Is it this one? No, where is it? Yeah, here it is. Like,
My foot is stuck.
man, the voice acting in this game does not. Okay, so for people that haven't played Heavy Rain, this kid dies. I can't with the voice. Okay, I'm just gonna pause. This kid does not survive. So he sounds so tired. He sounds nonplussed that he is about to die. I'm not annoyed. I think it's funny when chat was like, "How could you skip?" Oh no, if people are annoyed, be annoyed. It makes for fun content. But what I mean is, with like what Starry's saying about it's traumatic to see a newborn die or have a miscarriage. I can appreciate that. I need it to be conveyed to me though in a way that has me engaged and seems to do the gravity of the matter justice, if that makes sense. Because this is his brother dying, and you spend like 5 minutes trying to help this kid, and then he's like, "It's not working. My foot is stuck. I am a TTS program." But you end up running away and going to try to find help, but dad is drunk and locked you guys outside of the trailer. That is, why the fuck is there trailer in the middle of this construction site, by the way? Can we talk about this? We'll talk about this if we ever do heavier. Why is there trailer just here on this construction? Who? Like, whatever. This scene is so fucking stupid. Anyway, like, I don't feel emotions during this scene the way that I feel like David Cage, I guess, wanted you to. Where else would you put the trailer? In a trailer park? So, hi, Akaris. How's your week been? Location. But no, I don't feel sad at this scene. I laugh in game the way I'm like having fun and cracking a joke about it now because it's ridiculous. It is insane. It is a crazy sequence that makes no goddamn sense. And you come back to the brother.
I tried, John. I really tried. But he wouldn't come. Please.
The frame rate actively shitting itself here does not help me like lock in on feeling sad. But
Don't forget about my Scotty.
I don't think a 7-year-old would say don't forget about me either. Whatever. I don't buy this whole sequence. And granted, I will say the sequence this is propping up, I love. Like the first time, if you've never played Heavy Rain and you go in blind, it is the best way to play that game, because every subsequent playthrough you're gonna go, oh, that's fucking stupid. How did I not see that plot hole? Your first time through, though, you're going to have a great time. I love Scott Shelby. I think he is a very, very compelling character. Spoilers, turned villain. And he's been a villain the whole time, but you don't know that your first time going in. Whatever. The scene this is propping up is great. This scene itself, though, is fucking terrible and awful and borderline comical at times. We shitting on Dawntrail story? Well, we're watching a Pro Jared video he put out called The Problem with Dawntrail. And I have problems with Dawntrail, but I think people are being so unfair of it because everyone is looking at it without the context that it's in. And context matters. And I'm not saying context is in like, why are you making these weird judgments about these aspects of it without considering that there's external factors at play. What I'm talking about is, why are we looking at Dawntrail as an isolated thing instead of what it is? It is the first chapter. Well, not first chapter. It is the first book of a new story after. You could leave at Endwalker. I said it earlier. You could walk away from this game at Endwalker and you would not have a cliffhanger. You would be fine. You'd be like, yeah, I saw everything. You don't, but I feel like there's just a lot of hate for Dawntrail from people that aren't looking at it in the reality that it exists in, which is it is doing what A Realm Reborn was doing. It is setting up a lot of shit. First chapter of a new book, but it heavily relies on book one of the former series. That's totally fair. There's plenty of criticism to make. Like we were talking about Wuklamat earlier. I think that she is probably the weakest person in Dawntrail, or character. Like, I think she's the weakest character in Dawntrail, period. I don't like the way she's written. Do I hate the character? No. She's written better than Thancred is. Like, as far as A Realm Reborn Thancred's concerned, she's written better than Thancred is in Stormblood, in my opinion. But then again, Thancred doesn't have a part in Stormblood. He doesn't do much. He just shows up and he goes, I have the emo haircut now, and I'm super tanned because I've been outside more, and I went through the afterlife hell that we exist in. Yastola, where is she? You're blind now. I'm going to do espionage things. I'll see you guys later. Thancred's story sucks in Stormblood. I'm sorry. He was doing shit off screen. Whatever. I'm losing the plot. I'm yelling about something that's unrelated at this point. I'm losing the plot. It exists in the context. I think that's the important thing, to look at it with the context of it being an MMO expansion instead of just it's an expansion period and it's by itself. There's so much more going on. My biggest problem with it was Signs of the Seventh Dawn is no more than boom, this is a job for the Scions. They're hurt. Hey, I love that scene. I love that shit. I love that. Because it fits. It fits the goofiness of FF14. And if we're gonna pretend that this game's not goofy, I'm sorry. Endwalker might be the most emotional. What's the word I want? The most emotionally slap happy expansion period, but it also is the goofiest expansion. Endwalker's so goofy. Somehow our story of a new journey turns into Wuklamat on her slap happy friend. I did not mean to say slap. I did not read that. What a coincidence. And her slap happy friends go on an adventure. That's fine with me. I'll explain. Let me read your whole thing and then I'll hit on each point. The biggest culmination. Okay. Why is sound alerts not working? Is it just down? Did the last one even play, or did it just take a minute? I feel like it took a minute. Sound alerts? Hello? Anyway. The biggest culmination, the final battle, the spotlight was stolen by Wilhelm. The really shitty delivered one-liner. Yeah, I will agree with that. Here, we can just go look it up. Hold on.
It continues to sort of burn, but I've gotten to the point. You should know this too.
That's literally what she did during the fight. She literally walked in and went, "No, you should know this about me, players." Dawntrail final cutscene. No, I know what you're talking about though, Akaris. Like I said on stream in the middle of it, I was like, this ain't it. This ain't working. This isn't working. This doesn't make any sense. Was it before this? Yeah, it was before this.
Control the power? Sting, listen to me.
How did she get in? How did she get in? Like, okay, I'm not gonna make this a stream where I'm gonna critique a voice actor who's like, from my understanding, newer to the industry, because yeah, there are scenes where Wook's delivery is not as good as Wook's delivery. What's her name? Senna, I believe, is Wook's VA's name. Wooklemat, voice actor. Is it Cena or Senna Breyer? I don't know how to pronounce her name. Anyway, there are sequences in this game where, yeah, I don't think Senna's delivery is the strongest, but I'll say this, it's loads better than anything in A Realm Reborn.
You should know this too. Wink.
It's far and above anything in A Realm Reborn, so it's I just look past it. It's not a huge deal to me. Not about whether it was a good VA or not. I'm not talking about the voice actor as a whole did a good job. I'm talking about the delivery on like this line, and there's like two others that I think were just kind of odd. But there's lines delivered by Alize that are also just fucking off, honestly. I say that with that energy, not at anybody in chat right now. Just the amount of discourse online of people going after either Santa Breyer or just extrapolating
Everyone
genuine
please send me
critique.
prayer so I don't get Heaven's Ward raids for my roulette.
Those are good though. Oh, wait, those are Void Arc raids, right? Those are trash. Don't get those. Anyway, there's just people have extrapolated genuine critique of, or not even critique, just voicing of opinions of Wook Lamont to this weird just hate for the VA or something. It's like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. I don't want it. I don't want to see it. I don't, whatever. Like, it just, like, because that's not what I'm focused on when I talk about a game I like. I do not care about anything past the thing we're talking about. But I know that sounds callous, and yes, but whatever. Dawntrail would have been great if it was a spin-off single-player RPG with Wuklima as a main character, but as an expansion of FF14 where I'm continuing my character story, it fell flat. That's fair. I not everyone's gonna be into being a side character. I thought it was awesome. I liked it, but I'm also just having fun with the story in my head. So it's like, it's wherever Yoshi P and the team want to take me is where I want them to take me. She says Sphene is losing control of her power, which lets her break in. Yeah, but how did she break in? Here's my problem. It's fucking Wook Lamont. All right? It's Wook. Goddamn, I counted 6 instead of 4 Lamont in that mask room we were in. I don't buy that Wook Lamont's going to be the one to figure out how to break in. What? Show me someone else breaking through this wall and she follows in and I'll buy it more. I don't buy that she found a way through this little wall because I'm sorry, I don't trust her intelligence as a character to know how to do that. I just don't. She has been played as this goofball with a heart of gold that is ignorant and naive, but working on that the whole time. I do not buy she knew how to do this. I don't get it. I don't like most of Endwalker either. I love Endwalker. We're going to do, probably when I get back from hiatus, and especially before we start New Game Plus, I still want to do a stream where we're going to rank all of the expansions, and we're just going to talk about them one by one. It's going to be a long, just yap session. It's not going to be for everyone. That stream might be boring for some people. But if you want to talk about each expansion one at a time and just rant or go over what was cool about them and what wasn't, in retrospect, that'll be the stream for you. So expect that. Again, I'm going to be on hiatus all of September because I'm moving, for anyone that doesn't know or wasn't here for the last few streams. So that stream will probably be in October. So spooky month. But anyway, Silly doesn't really do Smarty. That's where I am with her. Being a side character is what we needed for this point. I think I agree, but I understand people that don't want that in their game where they've been the main character for 4 things. But it's just, there's been a lot of disingenuous discourse.
I do. And I know that you won't be swayed from your course.
This delivery was good. I just feel like there needed to be more energy on the Sphene, listen to me line whenever she comes flying in through the wall. But whatever. I digress. It's better than anything in A Realm Reborn. I feel like it would have been really better to just do a Discover the Old Civilization, or let's do beginning adventure things and new lands kind of deal. Hold on. I was on board for most of it as we're helping someone up until it turned into another Save the World scenario. I mean, I feel like it was that. Specifically the first half of your sentence or message I'm going to respond to for a second. I feel like it was that.
Power of talk, no jutsu.
She is Naruto. Like I'm not going to argue that point. I feel like we were doing that though, because if you go back to A Realm Reborn, I don't think we were the main character in A Realm Reborn for a long time to me. I didn't feel like we were. I feel like I was just an adventurer doing things. And then I met the Scions, and then I was doing things for the Scions for a while. And I didn't become the main character until the power of the Echo was fully understood in our character, not as a player, but our character understood it. And then we were put into the driver's seat proper. And I feel like that's what the first half of this was. And the second half, I don't know if I'd say it was a save the world scenario. It's someone made a really good point on Twitter. Believe it or not, very rarely it happens though. And it was Zoraljaw spent 30 years, or 30 years plus probably, squeezed an egg out.
Secret technique, yapping of resolution.
had a kid, sent an army over, and then like 3 dragons dismantled his entire armada he had parked outside of Tulialal in about 5 minutes. And the point I saw being made that I didn't think of was like, what chance would they have actually even had, genuinely, if instead of just Hraesvalgar, his sister, and like 3 buddies, we saw Hraesvalgar, his sister, and 70 of his buddies all defending Eorzea from Sphene's army. Like, what is Sphene gonna actually do? Because her little conquest plot doesn't work if you look at how much. Oh yeah, Vitra. Sorry, he's the one I'm thinking of. My bad. I think it was implied there was more, but one of them was the fucking first one. Yeah, my bad. Vitra was the one I was forgetting about. He was there too. Like, her conquest plot doesn't succeed, no matter how I thought about it. It doesn't. So it's like, even if Wukelmat didn't stop this, I don't think there was going to be a world-ending scenario that you could believe. And instead, I think because of that, we should look at Sphne's plot as what it is, because the whole thing always came back to she was so desperate as this recreation of emotions. She was so desperate that she was willing to overwrite her own compassion and her own hesitancy to force the plan to work. And the plan was never going to work anyway. And the whole point of Dawntrail, under the surface of every interaction, was, Sphene, there's a better way. This will not work. You cannot keep this up. And every time she seemed to want to almost acquiesce to that, but always stopped herself, which is interesting. She was trying to force a rejoining event, but where her people came out on top of the source. Was she trying to force a rejoining though? Like, did she even know what it was? Because we talked to her a lot about it, and she seemed to not understand the nuances, and didn't seem to understand the nuance of what happened on her end really as well. Because it sounded like she was just trying to, because there was literally an interaction between the main cast and Sphene where I forget who it was, but someone straight up asks her, like, what will you do after that? You're going to need more Aether. And she's like, I'll keep finding gas stations. I'll just find the next Speedway or Loves on the interstate, and I'm gonna fuel up, and then we're gonna keep going. And it's, what do you do when you're out of shards though? And she never answered that question, because there's not an answer. She didn't even posit the solution of, we'll figure out something, we're using this to buy time right now. She just said, we'll just keep trucking along. Wasn't the army that was the problem? It was the combined no jutsu she was trying to do. There's a war going on. They got a plan, and they were ready for him. I feel like Dawntrail's doing the Zelda thing where people are disliking it, and then people are going to look back on it and go, yeah, it was pretty good. And I'm going to want to slap the shit out of people go, yeah, it's pretty good, in 2 years after they were screaming about it for a year. Because it's not bad. It's just, we don't have the full picture of what it's trying to set up. And we don't know what the internal story, like, Bible doc is for the FF team. But we don't have that information. My ongoing question is, the first shard was the OG Lightning Calamity or the new one, because it doesn't add up on the timeline, because the Ice Calamity came after, unless the Lalafels coming over had some timey-wimey nonsense. Yeah, we talked about that, right? It was like shard 6. That was the Lightning Calamity one? No, Shard 6 was the Ice one. Was it 12? That was Lightning? And then 6, when it had its Ice Calamity, caused our problem on the source. And then they fled the Aloe Islands to whatever shard Sphene is on. Which, again, there's things that they're gonna do time travel again. They've already primed us for it in Shadowbringers, and they're priming it for us again here. Like, they're not letting us forget about the time travel stuff, because the moment we went to walk through that portal, we were immediately looking at the characters in the eyes as they went, time is synchronized. Or like, Alizé, don't let us get too old, or whatever the lines were that they were saying. Anyway, whoops. Hold on. I thought this was the Pro Jared video. Whoopsies. Back to this.
a lot of pacing issues because the main story quest is so dull. It seriously takes 3 hours of cutscenes before you get something resembling gameplay when you finally get to attack something. Never before has the story quest ever had such an abundance of go here and right click a person, now go here to right click a person, cutscene, now right click this person so you can go somewhere, meet that person halfway there to that location, right click them, and then finally get to the destination to right click this same person.
I'm sorry, go play a Realm Reborn again. Dawntrail did the one thing that I have been bitching about since A Realm Reborn, which is when we have to go somewhere new after clicking someone, they just take us there a lot of the times. We just end up going to a different location in cutscene or in load screen, and then we're just there, and then we can talk to the next person. Granted, yes, it was a lot of walking compared to Endwalker, and a lot of walking compared to Shadowbringers, but it's also the start of a new story. I know I'm going to keep falling back on that, and it's probably going to be annoying that I'm going to keep falling back on that, but there's not a lot of big things that are going to justify a new cutscene constantly. A lot of it's going to be back to just the old normal adventurer stuff, where it's like we're not this God Slayer in these cutscenes anymore. We subtly are in Dawntrail, but we're not getting these big cutscenes where these wild, crazy things are happening. We're back to A Realm Reborn, just old school adventures. It's really annoying though to watch. The FF community doesn't know what they want, and you know what? It just extends beyond the FF community because that's a stupid take for me to even voice as the fact. Gamers don't know what they want. People consuming media do not know what the hell they want. They do not understand a lot of the draw for the stuff they enjoy, I feel like. And we saw all this build up to Dawntrail, where in the 6 Plus quest, we had like Estinian holding a map out and going, do you want to go on another adventure? Like a boring one too. It's going to be normal. You're going to deliver pretzels and shit again. And everybody I saw on Twitter and on the forums like, yes, yeah, I want to go on another treasure hunt. Just take me somewhere normal. We saved the world. It's vacation time. And then we get that where we're just doing the original stuff we did before we were like a full-fledged Scion. And people are complaining about it again for some reason. I just don't. Did people, it's like buying a VCR and then getting mad that the quality's bad. If you wanted the basic stuff again, why get hype about it? And then when you get the basic stuff again, you're complaining about it. Yes, there's more to it than that. There's like Akaris is saying, like being the side character isn't for everyone. Not everyone wanted that anymore. Or not everyone's up for that in every story. Like, I'm up for it. I love that stuff. But I also don't mind a story experimenting and doing weird things. I'm watching a big, like, 3-hour video on Stranger Things right now. By, I think his name's Space Ninja? Friendly Space Ninja. I'm like halfway through this video. And it is 2.5 hours. And a lot of people don't like Stranger Things Season 3. And there's a lot of things he's pointing out in this video that I completely agree with. I understand why people don't like Stranger Things Season 3. I understand why he doesn't like Stranger Things Season 3. I understand the problems that he's pointing out with Stranger Things Season 3. I didn't have any problem with Stranger Things Season 3. But I also am very weird with how I consume media. I pay attention to a lot of stuff in FF, for example. That's the closest one I'll point to. That we had a lot of people come in during Endwalker who were very surprised that I was not emotional at certain points. And it's annoying because this stream is gone because I got really depressed, not for Endwalker, but I got really depressed that week and I forgot to export the VOD, so I don't have it anymore. But it was the sequence in Ultima Thule when you are watching the Scions sacrifice themselves to create the bridges that you need out of Dynamis. And who was it? I think it was Thancred that evaporates first. I did not feel emotion at all during any of those sequences, because right after Thancred was gone, I think it was either Y'shtola or was it a low? It wasn't a low port. Someone mentioned something like there's a faint Thancred odor still in the air. I could still smell him. Like he's still there. And I went, oh, okay, so he's fine. They're just gonna bring him back. Okay. Because he still exists. They immediately get rid of him and then immediately say he's still here. And they do that with all of them. So whenever they start knocking the Scions out, when you see Astinian disappear, when you watch Y'shtola disappear, when you watch Thancred disappear, when you watch the twins disappear, I didn't cry. I didn't feel sad. Each one was met with a very nonplussed, like, yeah, you're not... it's very clear what you're trying to do to manipulate my heartstrings here. This ain't working, Chief. I'm not feeling anything at any of what you're trying to put down into my lap right now. It's not working at all. And the only time that I got emotional, and it was very funny. The only time I got emotional was the Grahatia part. I think it's here. After you talk to Omega. I think it's this part. Yeah, I started crying.
For me, that is being here with my friends, full proud of how much we've grown together.
It's funny, Graha's the one where I didn't get emotional at all.
Give up. Heed your heart's desire and hope that
Where
the
is
future
it?
you long for shall be realized.
Okay, Firefox, can you work with me? I'm on a 24 core CPU, god damn it. Oh my god, are you okay, what is
I want you to make me a promise.
What is causing this? Stop it! Stop! What is causing this? Jesus. Am I gonna have to restart my whole browser? What is happening? When does he fist bump you? When does he do the COVID handshake? 24 core CPU, but only 2 cores are used. I don't know what's going on. Okay, I got 64 gigs of RAM. Use it. God damn. When does he do the fist bump? I want to point out exactly when I cried. Look at this. Look at it. Like it's just dying. Oh my god. Oh. Are you serious? Windows, you are like actual garbage. Okay, is it the Twitch thing? Oh my god, it's like the Twitch thing. God damn it. Is it here? Yeah, here. Right here's where I cried. When he offered the fist bump, that's when it like fully took me out. And I don't know why. I don't know why it was Graha that took me out. Because the twins didn't. And I didn't fully cry until here, I have it. Did I say Selenia Auto Weld? Fuck was that? Because I didn't fully cry until we hit the walk, and even then it was a very weird situation because I was already breaking down at the start of stream So this compilation on the main channel it's right where I started. It's exactly where I started. I cut out the intro, and I didn't spend a lot of time talking on this stream. I kind of immediately went into the game because I was just so excited to continue. And the moment Alize and Alphanaud were talking, I was struggling to even read their dialogue, to be honest. Like it was rough to read their dialogue. And it's still probably one of my favorite parts of the game. We'll script out. It was getting to me again, but I digress. I hope this little edited down Firefox play. This is so fucking annoying. Oh my god. But I was having trouble just reading the dialogue here after the Graha situation, which is weird because I spent 2 hours in Ultima Thule going, yeah, this isn't sad. I see what they're trying to do, and it's not going to work. It's not going to get to me. But the moment we got to the walk, I ended up kind of falling apart, not at what you would think. I didn't fall apart at Horshafont. I didn't fall apart at Ardbert, surprisingly. And Ardbert is a wild one because honestly, every sequence with Ardbert kind of had me crying or close to it in Shadowbringers. I always felt so bad for him. But it was Raoban with whatever he says. Man. I don't know if I can watch this. I might cry again. Just reading the sorrow of 1,000,000 worlds weighs heavy, and yet you can walk on is... This killed me.
Right there behind you.
No! The Ardbert line was really good.
No! Come on.
Which one was the Raoban voice? I forget what he says.
Oh my god.
Do not despair. You are not without allies.
Oh, come on.
What we have sown in blood, we have reaped in suffering, and it cannot go on.
This whole segment is gold.
Upon the souls of they who have sacrificed themselves to pave the way for peace, we will never abandon.
If you cry, we cry. Please hold on. Nah. I don't know. We might break here. We gotta play Endwalker again. Oh man. Oh, that's not cool.
Victories are rarely won without sacrifice, but the prize is worth the price.
I think it was that line that got me. Like that one, something about hearing Raoban. But no, I think it was Dua in chat was like, did you look at the status effect on your screen? And I didn't notice it. And it might be one of my favorite parts of the game. Where is it? Have you read the debuff on your screen? Endwalker walking alone under Journey's End, the burden weighing heavy. That's gonna make me cry again reading it. Like, what a good status effect. It wasn't making me sad because of all the all the scions being killed off, because they weren't killed off, and it was obvious they weren't killed off. The big bow is cute. I'm gonna ruin the bow for you real quick. So it's actually, here, let me screenshot and then I'll zoom in. So in VC face, you can't easily make like a texture like that. Can I zoom in? Is Windows just gonna be terrible? Okay, there we go. If you look, this little like hump here, and then this hump. The bow is actually ears. So the way I did this bow was I just took the cat ears and I applied a texture to them. And then I reshaped them slightly so that you can't really tell they're the ears until you look really close. And it also has physics such as the ears. And then the little ribbon down the side here is rabbit ears. So it's three cat ears. So it's a cat ear. There's another cat ear, and then there's a third cat ear right there to make a little bump. And then there's a rabbit ear that goes down this way. But no, that makes it less cute. How I didn't say it does. I just, people think it's like a bobo, but it's not. Anyway, no. This whole segment was emotional, not even because of what was going on with the Scions, but it was starting to hit me that, oh, the game's over. Like a game I've been playing since 2020-ish, that I've met some of like my best friends and strongest friendships through. Like this is it. Like this is the end of it, and I'm gonna have to wait for the next expansion. But Endwalker was great. Sorry, I forgot where we were. Well, let me go back like 10 seconds. What did Pro Jared say?
It seriously takes 3 hours of cutscenes before you get something resembling gameplay when you finally get a person.
Oh, yeah, okay. No, it's... I don't... I don't think it's fair to... Again, people are going into Dawntrail expecting there to be... all of this context and all of this continue. Like, what do we literally, what do we have to continue from Endwalker? We have the shards, yes. And we have the remaining Ascians, yes. What else do we have, though? Because with the shards, we have Y'shtola's side plot that's going on that we're getting answers to slowly. With the Ascians, we're probably going to run into them again, but I don't think they're ever going to be the threat they were before. And if we don't run into them again, in anything more than like a side quest or something that kind of, you know, ties up their story to go like, oh yeah, they just kind of disbanded after everything. That's fine. That's totally okay with me. God damn it, I lost the game. What do you mean? But it's, a lot of people talk about Dawntrail as if they're going into it expecting another scene like the walk in Ultima Thule, or another sequence like In From the Cold, or something like that. And it's very strange that there is this discourse back and forth, but it's not new discourse. This isn't unique to FF. This is just MMO discourse. It's video game discourse, period. It's the Zelda thing of Wind Waker comes out. People go, ew, what the fuck is this? It's gross. It looks like it's for kids. Everyone hates it. Twilight Princess comes out. And somewhere in that noise and cacophony that is, God, Twilight Princess is the best thing ever, emerged man, Wind Waker was really good too. And then you have Skyward Sword coming out. And you have, man, Skyward Sword's so good. Twilight Princess fucking sucked though. It was just Ocarina of Time all over again. Wind Waker's still great. And then you have Skyward Sword's discourse a few years later going, man, Skyward Sword kind of just sucked. It wasn't that great. It was kind of rough. Twilight Princess was really, really good though. But it was Ocarina of Time all over. Who cares if it was Ocarina of Time all over again? Just like, it's the same with Dawntrail in my head. I was like, who cares if it's mirroring A Realm Reborn's pace and kind of catalyzing agents again? Who cares? But I don't mind it. And I don't think anyone should be too focused on it since it's the first part of a new story. Like, let it cook, give it time, let it act as a foundation. Let's see what comes next. Like, well, it's the expansion that came out, and I want to play the rest of the game. And it's like, ugh. And we're 2 hours in, and we do this every time we get into a video that actually is like discussion worthy. Holy shit. We're 3 minutes in, and it's been 2 hours. This video is 13 minutes long. We're not getting to anything else tonight. This is all we're doing. Holy shit.
Halfway there to that location, right-click them, and then finally get to the destination to right-click this same person. The entire main story is about Wook Lamont becoming the next leader of the land over her siblings by proving herself. This involves going around to every neighboring state, learning about their people and helping them with whatever problem they currently have, so that Wook Lamont gets a different flavor of Jolly Rancher to put into her Egyptian god card or whatever.
So, a Realm Reborn with the gummy bear crystal things. So remove your finger from the pause button. Video will be finished next month. Stay tuned. It's like a Dragon Ball episode. No, it's literally a Realm Reborn, though. That is a Realm Reborn. We're going around to different cultures, a la the Beast Tribes, and we're getting different colored crystals to put into our gummy bear tablet. Except instead of a gummy bear tablet, it's this weird mind palace we go into.
At least the premise itself lends itself to teaching you about all the different cultures and customs, if only it wasn't so goddamn boring.
Is it boring though? I mean, that's a subjective thing, so I'm not going to argue with it like it's this objective truth. I will say the only part that I think was objectively dull. You know what? I'm going to backpedal that. The only part I'm going to say I strongly feel was dull, because I don't think it's objective, because people in this chat have been like, John Fontaine was a good man. I don't give a shit about that Ellison. He was the most boring character. It was the ceramic goblins. I don't know their name. What are they even called? Hold on. Where are they even from? I need to check this, because I keep calling them ceramic goblins, and that's not what they do. They're from Earthenshire. They're like whatever. People know who they are. Just they're boring. They didn't do anything.
I mean, super boring.
But everyone else was cool. Like, I like the Yakui. Granted, I didn't care about the Yakui beyond their very interesting afterlife belief. And I thought it was like, that part was cool. I really thought that the Okehanu were interesting because they were just the Vanu Vanu, but done well. Does anybody know about the Vanu Vanu? Does anybody know anything about them? Does anybody care about the Vanu Vanu? Yeah, they're cool owl people that do like the ha ha dance thing. But it's like, does anybody care about the Vanu Vanu in Cloud Top? There's probably like at least some people in the fan base that goes, yeah, it's my favorite place. I thought they were really interesting. But like, really? Like, who cares? Who cares about the Amalja also? Like, the Amalja are boring. The Sylphs are one of the only few pre-Shadowbringers tribes that I think are genuinely kind of cool, but they're cool because they're interesting looking, and it makes their world look more interesting. The Kobolds were okay, but it's more just like, I like Gabu's story. I don't care about the Kobolds. The Sahagin, I literally don't remember anything about the Sahagin. I don't think they ever came up, aside from when Merlwyb shoots 3 of them, and that spirit keeps hopping from Sahagin to Sahagin. The Ixali were... I don't know what the difference between the Ixali and the Amalja are. They're both lizard people or something, right? I don't know. I literally know nothing about the Realm Reborn tribes. I don't... The Vaths were interesting, but the Vaths were kind of handled in the way that a Realm Reborn... So repair your fucking gear? Yeah. The Vaths were kind of handled in the way that the Dawntrail tribes are handled, where you actually had to go through their little rituals and things to understand what was going on with Ravana, which was cool. Like, it was fun. The Vanu didn't matter. The Kojin are super cool. I like the Kojin. I don't remember any of the other Stormblood tribes. Granted, you can see I don't have a lot of them. Probably. I don't know. I don't know if there's more than just one. No, I just don't have them because there should be Loporits here. So I don't know what I'm missing from the rest of these, but like the ones that I find cool post Heaven's Word, if you notice, are the ones that the story makes you go and talk to and like do things for.
I mean, like literally falling asleep in my chair as I'm playing it boring. And what gets weird is that story is basically finished once you hit about level 96. So then you and Aaronville go to Texas for like an hour to basically waste a lot of time with some cowboys until you're pulled right back into Woklamat's problems with invading spaceships and robots. I wish I was kidding. This has nothing to do with anything, but I just want to say, y'all, stop being so horny for Bakuljaja and Zeralja. Seriously? What the hell? What's bizarre is that all of the poor world building, exposition, and uninteresting story moments all get much better from here. Once you meet the
I will agree with this. The back half of Dawntrail was so much more interesting. I was so much more engaged. Every time Sphene was on screen, I was glued. Sphene was such a fun character. I loved everything about her interactions. Everything about Sphene was cool.
people of Alexandria and then begin to learn about that culture and how they function, it's actually pretty great. They do such a better job of showing you how it all works with much more interesting moral quandaries and even relevancy to the main plot. It's almost like this half of the story was designed by a completely different person than all that Dawn Servant stuff. The most repeated strawman argument I've seen staunch defenders retweet all the time is that nobody likes the Dawntrail story because, God forbid, it doesn't have massive world-ending stakes or massive threats that could end the universe. Ooh, sorry y'all hate world building. Knock it off with that. I'm not hungry for what you're spewing, so stop putting words in my mouth. It's fine to have a story that's more upbeat and lighthearted, or doesn't have a misguided death demon from another reality wanting to consume every living thing's chakra or whatever. You can have just as good a story, if not arguably a more interesting one, by having personal stakes. It doesn't have to be me versus the end of the world, but it sure as hell should be me versus the threat of loss.
Okay, so based on this complaint alone, the problem isn't that because I was about to say Dawntrail is a personal stakes type of story for the first half, and if we look at the latter half through the lens I was talking about, where it's Sphene literally never had a chance of saving her people because if she tried to take the souls of the people in the source, yeah, the dragons would just wipe them out. We've already seen how much more powerful they are. That wouldn't, no. But it sounds like the issue is the Warrior of Light isn't the main character based on this. If it's supposed to be me versus the threat of loss sort of thing. Vanu tribe is boring and didn't get any better after finishing their tribal quest. I wouldn't expect them to. I have no desire to do their tribe quest.
Throughout the entirety of the story, there's basically not a single reason for me, as the player character, to care. I'm completely sidelined to be the speechless NPC in Woklamat's story, which is supposed to be her personal journey, but I'm the one doing everything for her. What sucks is that there are many opportunities for some kind of personal conflict that felt like Dawntrail was setting up and I was all ready for, only for it to completely fizzle out without any kind of follow-through. As Woklamat is journeying and fulfilling her duties to become Dawn Servant, she's in direct competition with her brother, Kona, and much like Woklamat, Kona has also hired some people to assist him in his travels to become ruler, Thancred and Urianger. Oh damn, we've known these guys for a decade. They're my homies, and now they're against us? That right there.
Can we talk about Urianger's? Or not Urianger, Thancred's reaction when Kona's like, "What will you do about your friends?" And his response to Kona was, "I'm gonna beat the shit out of Alizé." Someone pointed that out, that's how blunt he was on the other day, and it cracked me up because I realized he was blunt, but when I thought about it, I was like, man, he really did just threaten her out of nowhere when Kona even approached the topic of like, what are you going to do with your friends? He singled out Alizé harder than anybody else. It cracked me up. It cracked me up on stream and in retrospect. But like, I will say this. If your complaint with Dawntrail is that they kept or not your complaint, but one of the complaints is they did build us up pre-release with, we'll see the other Scions and maybe you'll fight them and, you know, it'll be Scions versus Scions and whatnot. Yeah, that didn't happen. We got it for literally one interaction in the first, I think it's the level 93 dungeon. I forget what it's called. Worker Zormor, where you're climbing the mountain and Thancred drops a boulder or something in front of Wukelamat and all of you guys. I forget who's with you at that point. But that's all we kind of get out of that. We don't really get what they were talking about pre-release ever. And yeah, it's kind of frustrating.
Was great. That's interesting. What was going to happen if at some point we became in direct conflict? Would we have to fight the comrades we've known forever? Would those two be able to follow through? Would they choose their duty to Kona over the friendship they've had with the player?
Yeah, probably. Thancred would. Urianger would also be. He has literally betrayed us 3 times. It's just to make sure the plan doesn't go awry. So yeah, probably.
Was either side willing to go to fulfill their promise to their elected Dawn servant? What would the fallout be like after, should such a skirmish happen? Something that could irrevocably damage the relationship between the characters that we've known for so long. Oh wait, never mind. Literally nothing like that happens. In fact, there's pretty much no reason for either of them to be there. It could have been any other 2 rando NPCs and would have just as much of an impact on the story as anything else. This was one of the biggest wastes of potential. Equally wasted is basically every single Scion on the 7th Dawn. Thancred and Urianger being there at all ultimately ended meaning absolutely nothing. Practically each one of them is just kind of there, adding nothing to conversations and doing nothing to move the plot forward. They're spectators at best, but have to be shoved in so that you can use them for dungeons and duties. At least give them a purpose or something to add. Look at Alize. Literally, why is she here? She's with you the entire time, and entire cutscenes go by where she doesn't say a word because she has nothing to add.
Cannot, like, okay. Again, I am someone who, when I go into a story, I'm in the headspace of, all right, take me on your journey. I just want to see what you have for me as the person who made the story. And it's very easy here to say, oh, yeah, the FF14 cast is just, it was too big at times during Dawntrail. Does every character have to have this poignant commentary or have this big purpose to be part of the story? Like, do they? Do we need like every character to be an actionable entity in a cutscene or in a moment that they're visible? Like, can they not just be there? Are they not allowed to just be part of the crew and not have anything to say? And I'm not saying this to counter this argument or even be a contrarian, but it's just annoying that the moment a cast member in a story that has a lot of cast members is not a proactive member, it's like, why were they there? It's like, do they need a reason to be there other than they're part of the crew? Like, do they genuinely need a reason every time to be there? Because if we're going to say that, man, Estinian really shouldn't be in about 80% of this goddamn game. My man's just chilling. Did he need to be anywhere in a lot of Endwalker? Like, what did he do? What did Estinian ever do in Endwalker as like a big player? Like, yes, he helped kill, like, you know, defend some people and what, sure, fine. But beyond those sequences, when he's in cutscenes, does he need to be there? If he's not saving someone or helping out Vitra, does he need to be there? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. We got him shirtless and covered in sweat, so he's forgiven because fans are fickle for media they like. Part of the crew, part of the ship. Yeah, no, I'm serious. Like, good reference, but also seriously, yes. He was there to be covered in blood and look pretty. Is that a problem? Like, I don't think that's a problem for that to just be all that they're there for a minute. Like, does Alize need to have this big dialogue? It's just annoying it feels nitpicky to always go to that in every story ever and just go, well, this character wasn't like fighting a boss or, you know, this character wasn't doing this giant thing. So it's just, they shouldn't have been there, period. It's like, what do you mean they shouldn't have been there, period? Let them be there.
Alpha knows almost as bad if he didn't run off to take care of some other thing every now and then. Estinian appears because why the hell not? At one point they're like,
that's literally Estinian's character.
I called for backup. And in comes Grahatia and Y'shtola, which is supposed to be like this big moment where you're like, oh dude, it's them. They're here. This is sick. And then they don't contribute anything until something magical happens and you need.
Why else would they be there? What are they going to contribute to? Y'shtola's blind and she's good at spell casting, and Graha's the crystal boy. What else are they going to be used for? That's their character.
Need someone to explain it. They barely have any voice lines. I mean, I'm glad the voice actors are still getting some work, but really, they could have been taken out of this expansion pack and nobody would have noticed.
Yes, they would have, because we need Y'shtola here to see like 2 or 3 things out of the entire giant 80 item list, because 2 or 3 of those things are very important for her development later with her plot. She's going to get back to Runar. We have to have her here, and Graha needs to be here because he specializes in a lot of the magic that's used right now. Really? Why are these 2 the characters being singled out? It's set up. It's set up for shit that's coming. We know what they're going to be used for, but this is a wholesome stream and I can't say those things. You think this is a wholesome stream? You're in the wrong stream. No, but like, really? Y'shtola and Graha are the 2 pointless characters that could be. Estinian could literally have been killed off and nobody would notice. Nobody would know. This man says nothing in this exact cutscene. This cutscene on screen right now, he literally says nothing. You know who else says nothing? Oriange. And fucking Thancred. And goddamn, what's his name? Ellen Espia. Shit, what's his name? Fucking Ellen Espia could be removed too from this cutscene. He wouldn't matter. I know we're talking about the game as a whole, but Ellen Espia didn't say anything in this game, or in this cutscene, period. There's like 2 other characters in this cutscene that say nothing. Why are we singling out the 2 people that need to be here for the most plot relevant item? I'm sorry, what a short-sighted opinion.
Seeing all of them be so underutilized is a crime when there are so many opportunities to use them. More than ever before, they've all been reduced down to tools you pull out of a box whenever you need something, instead of actually letting them, be characters. One of the biggest... They've been like that for a minute. Thancred was this during all of Stormblood, because he was the espionage boy. Thancred was this during Endwalker as the espionage boy. Again, he was just a tool we pulled out. Is a tag for feet. Struggles to actually enjoying the story is not just because of the lack of stakes, but also because there's no real reason to care. A lot of this is because of Wuk-Lamat. She has the weakest, blandest character introduction and isn't compelling enough to make anyone care about her plights from the get-go. She first shows up in the 6.55 patch content before the release of Dawntrail, which is basically about 2 hours of her being a doofus who really likes food, and then you watch her eat something in a comical manner.
So she's a Final Fantasy character. I feel like this is describing her as in a more negative light than it needs to be. Because yes, she's a big goofball that she's an FF character.
It's about as anime trope as it gets, and this is somehow supposed to make me want to help her deal with her Dawn Servant nonsense when...
Yes, it is an FF character.
All I've seen is her act like a simpleton. It is not a good introduction. That said, Wuk-Lamat is a wonderful character. It is nice to have someone so unerringly upbeat and willing to engage with people. She, above all others, is the first to say, hold on, let's hear them out. It's great that she's able to have enough awareness of herself to realize that she isn't the smartest or most strategic person around, which is why she ends up respecting someone like Kona so much and needing him around. The majority of the story stuff that happens with her isn't inherently interesting, but she as a character handles it well and is endearing to see. Also, all the people complaining that Wuk Wook Lamont being poorly voice acted and has flat deliveries? No offense, but what in the goddamn hell are you talking about? Anyone saying this is either repeating what they've seen other people say in online discourse because they can't form an opinion of their own, or they only play through the 6.55 patch scenes with her in it. The voice actress kills it in so many scenes, and her performance is perfect for the character. Anytime Wook Lamont goes through any kind of distress or confrontation, especially with Zeralja and Bukuljaja, the emotion seeps through every single line. You can't tell me hers is bad when she's going up against other voice actors who sound like they slept through their role. Anyone
Okay, who are the voice actors that slept through the role though? Because
especially with Zeralja and Bukuljaja, the emotion seeps through every single line. You can't tell me hers is bad when she's going up
because if it's supposed to be Y'shtola, Kryl, or Alphanod, I don't think they slept through their role. I think they all did a damn good job this time.
Against other voice actors who sound like they slept through their role. Anyone who says she sounds bad and prefers the Japanese audio needs to step off right now. You don't know what good voice acting is. You just like noises you don't understand. That said, she's got some
What a weirdly aggressive segment. Sorry, like there are lines that are not delivered the best for Wook Lamont, and there are lines not delivered the best for Alize, and there are lines not delivered the best for like even characters as far back as like not Papa Limo, fucking Amaric. Even after we got the big voice actor swap in after A Realm Reborn. But it's like, I don't know. We talked about this at the start. I have complaints about like a few lines, but it's like, I have complaints about lines from Sir Amaric at the start of Heavensward. I have complaints about lines from Lys in Stormblood. I have complaints about lines from, I want to say Ralban, but I can't think of a lot. Maybe Ilburd's a better example around that expansion as well. But Ilburd's like a side character. I mean, yeah, he's like a side antagonist. But whatever.
Weak-ass voice directing sometimes. The final battle voice lines come to mind. So to the voice actress for Wook Lamont, great job, you slayed. I still stand by that Wook Lamont is not super interesting and did not give me a strong enough reason to want to help her. Her introduction is way too weak, and I'm still not given anything to push me toward caring about her story, because instead I'm just kind of told to be there and told to do it. Even more frustrating is that all of her endeavors consisting of learning about the neighboring people, seeing their customs, their ways of life, occasionally dealing with a primal or whatever, she doesn't do any of their tasks, the player does. So it's not even like I'm willing to back her corner because I'm watching her persevere and accomplish all these things to better herself as a person. I'm the one doing all the work and she's taking credit for it. There was a single moment that was set up that could have been really, really interesting, and it was completely squandered.
I'm curious. Does it feel like it's the Warrior of Light doing all of her work because we're not using trust for the duties that she is obviously involved in? Because if we're using trust, I wonder if it would feel more coherently like, oh, we're working with Wook Lamont through these things.
Near the end of the trials, you take a night's rest at the inn of Tuliolo, and in the middle of the night, there's a knock at the door. Who's standing there when you answer it but Wook Lamont? She starts acting very nervous, like there's something she really wants to say but is afraid of the response. 20 seconds later, you're sitting on top of a cliff and she's chill again, talking about herself. I thought for sure this was setting up for Wook Lamont to admit falling in love with the player. It would have been fascinating to introduce an NPC that falls in love with your character, regardless of what your race and gender.
I thought this is how we were going also, and I thought it would have been really cool. I was very disappointed on stream when we got to the top of the palace, and she's like, I'm going to be the next Hokage. Thanks for coming up here with me, by the way. Kryl said I should yell that, and I was nervous. Like, that was a very, very, like, odd set of events.
It was the perfect setup and everything was alluding to it, only to be completely abandoned in the very next scene. She asks you if you would be by her side if she becomes Dawn Servant, which is a request that's as hollow as the story itself, because obviously you can't actually do that. You got endgame raids to go on. If they had actually committed and made Wook Lamont be in love with you, it would change the subtext of every single scene afterwards. And hey, you know what else that would have done? added in personal stakes to the story, which would have made it infinitely more interesting. She could admit she loves you, and then there's an inevitability of having to let her down and breaking her heart, something that could erode any positive and upbeat character such as her. Having this frequent ray of sunshine and rainbows, having to go through so much loss, struggle, and coming to terms with her own life, knowing full well that you having to turn her down is what would hurt her the most, would have been one of the most fascinating story beats they would ever have. But nah, there's nothing like that. Wook Lamont is all about her mission, and she doesn't fall in love with you because Final Fantasy XIV has no balls. Another really easy way to make the story be from things you're just
That would have been cool, though. I would have been all on board for a little plot thread like that. I think it would have been fun.
doing to a story with personal interest and a strong desire to see it through is replace Wook Lamont. For real. Imagine her exact same story, all the same story beats and everything, except it all involves someone you already know. It could be the exact same storyline, but instead of Wook Lamont as the potential Dawn servant, it's, I don't know, Urianger. Hell, even Erenville would have been better. Or the best possible replacement would be Y'shtola, so that my girl actually gets some goddamn character development. It isn't just the Deus Ex Magica whenever they need.
She'll get development in like the next expansion, probably. Oh my god, she has been getting set up for things.
If it was someone like the Eternal Beast,
I'm sorry. It's not a like awful thing to be irritated with at this point, because yes, Y'shtola hasn't had a lot of development since Shadowbringers, but it's like she's been busy. We've been focusing on other things. She ain't got time to be in front of the camera. She's been off screen researching to get back to Runar.
Beautiful grace of Y'shtola, there's immediate attachment, personal involvement, and potential conflict within herself and other scions. It's just another example of how weak of a protagonist Wook Lamont is. Even if her actual personality is very enjoyable and nice to see, she doesn't have the conviction to carry the main plot on her shoulders. And that can be fine because she would be a fantastic support character with her charm, but she was not meant for the spotlight. There was a recent unofficial character popularity poll in Japan, and after 17,000 votes, they showed the top 10 favorite characters of Dawntrail. Wook Lamont doesn't even crack the top 10. There are characters that only get like 20 minutes of screen time that beat her. I'm tired of getting these single-serving NPCs that are going to be completely ignored come the next expansion pack. Yoshi P did not cook with Dawntrail's story. Those dungeons are still sublime, and they are some fantastic raids, but this is the biggest snooze fest 14 has ever had.
She's sleeping in libraries too.
I would rather replay a Realm Reborn story again than sit through this one. I sincerely
really
hope this is indicative of what to expect with their story content and expansions moving forward, because it might be dull enough for me to actually cancel my subscription. It is.
I'm not buying. Someone thinks that a Realm Reborn is more compelling than Dawntrail. I need to see a proper. I need a video essay to form my opinion on this, so I can make an actual judgment call. That sounds wild to me, to even entertain a Realm Reborn is more compelling than Dawntrail, because I disagree. I just on all fronts disagree. But no, yeah, she's been sleeping in libraries. Like, we've seen how busy she's been. I don't think that there's any chance for her to be in a situation where it's like, yeah, she has time to be at the forefront of the plot at all, but she doesn't. I don't think she does. I really don't. But that was a solid video. Like, I disagree with a lot of it, but it's like, I do agree with the Wook Lamont isn't the most compelling main character, but it's I don't think she needs to be compelling. I don't have a counter argument for it other than that. I just don't think she needs to be that compelling. I think she's purposefully justified and not just in narrative, but with what the needs of the story are at this point, to kind of be a character that's like, yeah, we're just kind of along for the ride right now while we set up a bunch of stuff. Because now that we have the Azim key and everything, it's like, what's coming up next? Because I feel like we're going to become the focus again. But even then, I don't know if we'll be the focus as the Warrior of Light. I feel like will be the focus as Azim's kind of reincarnation. And our focus will be back at the macro level of things, like we were in A Realm Reborn for a minute. And we kind of already were. With that, we were kind of already at that macro level again through this expansion, but I don't know if they'll maintain that. I would part of me wants them to, because I don't know. Dawntrail made the tribe quests interesting, except for like a few of them. The Pelu were really annoying to do, and again, I don't care about the Earthenshire goblins. Theory, next expansion will be side character, but the main character will be another Azim shard. Oh, another. Can there be multiple though? That's interesting if there could be multiple. I don't know how I'd like that, honestly. I would have to see it. Hi, Never. Welcome in. How's your weekend going? Yeah, because Ardbert. Oh, you mean like, okay, sorry. That's what you mean. Duh, I'm fucking stupid. Huh. I don't know. I don't think I would be opposed to that. I think it'd be fun. Neutral at best. How about you? It's been very busy lately. And I almost was gonna cancel stream again today, but I wouldn't have felt super good about doing that. So I decided to just eat a bunch of food and get my energy up for stream. But not too bad. But no, it's I don't know. I feel like a lot of the complaints for Dawntrail are coming from just the normal bullshit we see from like the loudest parts of communities online. So just a lot of entitlement of like, I want my cake now, god damn it. What do you mean I gotta watch you get the bowl out and put the flour in the bowl and then put the eggs and the butter and the milk and like you gotta beat it all up and then you gotta like, what do you gotta preheat the oven and like you gotta just give me the cake now. Why? Give it time. Enjoy the story. Sorcerer's Stone is not the strongest Harry Potter movie. Fellowship is not the strongest Lord of the Rings movie. It's really good, but it's not the law. Fellowship's probably a bad in comparison because Fellowship's pretty good. Game of Thrones episode 1 is not the most compelling episode of Game of Thrones. We're going to just pretend in my hypothetical right now, it did not end the way it did in season 8. But I digress. Like, just give it time. A New Hope isn't the strongest Star Wars film. Which one's episode 1? Is it A New Hope? Phantom Menace is episode 1. But yeah, no, if we're talking about the like original trilogy, yeah, New Hope isn't that strong. Like I'm not a big fan of Star Wars, but even I'll at least say that like it's good, yes, but it's not the strongest. Like give it time. You know what makes A New Hope interesting? Context. You know what makes Dawntrail interesting? Probably context. And if in 2 years I'm wrong, because I'll still be streaming, we can laugh at me being a very confident moron. Because who knows? Maybe the next expansion will be super good compared to Dawntrail. In direct comparison. I don't mean to say Dawntrail's bad. I mean just in direct comparison. The way that you can look at Shadowbringers next to Stormblood and go, God damn! God! Shadowbringers is good. Stormblood's like solid, but Jesus. No comparison. And maybe we'll get that. And then I'll just look like a goof. But I just don't understand. I don't like I don't like entertaining it. And I only entertain it because it's content for stream and it's fun to talk about on stream, and it leads to fun discussion. Because I don't like, whenever I bring up stuff like this on stream, it's not to discuss. It's not to discuss the discourse itself. I honestly don't really care if people think Wu Klamat's voice delivery is not great in some lines, or in overall. I don't care if people think Dawntrail isn't great. I don't talk about this stuff off stream with my friends, period. Like, it's not something I concern myself with. But it makes for fun content on stream because we get to discuss it, get hype about it. And by hype, I mean get loud and sound more irritated than I actually am. And just make a little fun bit of content out of it. But beyond that, it gives us a catalyst to talk about things in the story that I do care about. So it's like people complaining about Y'shtola, for example. Like, I love talking about how we're probably setting up for a Y'shtola focused set of, like, not a whole expansion, but we're probably talking about a decent chunk of an expansion being focused on Y'shtola. And that's going to be super fun, and it's going to be a great part, and it's fun to speculate on it. And it's fun to speculate on it by getting to that topic, by talking about, like, people are yelling about Y'shtola being boring again. It's like, who cares? Just enjoy the thing. Like, who cares? But then you run into this, like, wild situation on the internet that is, you get people that don't really seem to grasp that, like, streams and YouTube videos for a lot of people are not made as this bastion of their opinion or bastion of their like reaction to things. And it's like, no, it's for entertainment purposes. So it's like a lot of the content that, you know, people are like upset with Dawntrail, or people are like criticizing Y'shtola's lack of involvement in the story, or criticizing Endwalker's pacing, or the lack of Garlemald in Endwalker, which is a valid criticism. I'm also very much bummed by the fact that, you know, there is no oh, I can't do trials with my Dark Knight yet. But you see it in YouTube comments, and you see it all the time on, like, Twitter, where this comes back to, like, I guess you could call it like a media literacy problem. But it's the reaction of, like, man, they're really mad about this. Like, they're making entertainment. They're trying to make sure things are fun to watch and whatnot. I don't think it's a, you know, they're that mad with it sort of thing. There were people who say the curtains are blue when they're very much red. And granted, as much as I'm sitting here saying, like, I hate that part of the kind of conversation of media and things in general, where people are, like, almost explicitly driven by attaching their personality to whatever piece of media it is at that time. It does make for fun content, and it does make for fun conversations. But at the end of the day, like, doesn't someone's opinion on, is someone gonna grab that, or do I need to grab it? What are we doing? Okay, we run it with, like, brand new people. Whoopsies. Blue. It's frustrating to watch people, like, have their opinions be kind of coerced by just what the big YouTuber, like, what a streamer says about something. A good example would be, and I talked about this with Flem a lot, and one of his favorite examples of this is an old Jontron video on Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. And he likes to say a lot that that video has done irreparable damage to not only Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, but just how people view commentary online about media and video games in general. And not just that video, but early videos from AVGN and Gamer from Mars and Jontron. Who else? There's like a few others that used to make content like that online. I can't think of who they are. And that's not to say like all of these people still, you know, make that type of content, but it's really fun to go back and watch those old videos, because I always gave Flim a lot of shit for, and it was tongue-in-cheek like shit talk, but I always gave him a little bit of shit for his opinion that's like, Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts is a good game. Jontron did irreversible damage to that game. People don't understand it. And hi, Koish, welcome in. And I watched the video recently, the Nuts and Bolts one. And he's not wrong that those videos are not a good representation of any game that those YouTubers were covering at that time. Because his reasoning, and now that I've watched it again recently with that in my head, I get it now, is they don't actually kind of explore the game. For example, like the Star Fox Adventures video that Jontron did a long time ago doesn't explore the game, but paints it in a very negative light. And his exploration of the game is playing about half of it, if that, and then going, joke, Star Fox temperatures. There's a dinosaur. What is it? Crystal. She's ahead now? Okay, bad R-Wing section. What is this? This isn't Star Fox. And then the video ends. And that's the same sort of pacing that a lot of those videos from back then have. And it's great that, you know, they've kind of matured or changed in terms of a type of content that we see on the platforms, where instead of that, we now have, you know, 45 plus minute long, like actual explorations on the game itself. Like if we're going to talk about BioShock 1, let's talk about BioShock 1. If we're going to talk about Star Fox, let's talk about Star Fox. I think it's Lunatic J just put out a really long, is it Lunatic J? I need to check. No, Liam Triforce. I'm watching a video slowly that he just put out that is like 2 hours long, and it's a full Star Fox series retroactive. Oh. My tank stance was off. And maybe it's because the tone has shifted from clicking on those videos for an entertaining time to clicking on those videos to I want to hear about the game. I want to know someone's genuine opinion on a piece of media that I really, really liked as a kid or just like in general. And I don't want to watch a 7-minute shit post that is, haha, X retro game is, not that great. You might think it's good, but it's really not, sort of thing. I'm not that interested in that type of content anymore. But with that lens, it does kind of paint this interesting picture of, yeah, I think those types of videos might have actually had a negative impact on how people view some more experimental titles that have come out in the past, or just view the consumption or critique of media in general. But I don't know. It's such a hyper specific thing. Where it's because whenever I was first, you know, wanting to make content online, I was very much interested in, like, I'd love to make videos that talk about a game I like or something. And, you know, the initial thought process was a video that is reminiscent of early Dawntrail with like Daikatana, which I think is his first video. But now it's like those videos never did justice to those pieces of media. Because now I watch a lot of like pyrocynical videos where it's, you know, a 2-3 hour video on a game that really you wouldn't expect to have that level of commitment put into an exploration on what it does as a product or as a piece of entertainment. But there's a lot of games that I wouldn't have played that I found through videos like that as well. Like, I only found out Greener Grass Awaits is the most recent one we've done on stream that I found through a long video essay. And it was, I forget what the video was called. It was by Jacob Geller. Jacobgeller, I believe. And I don't know. During my hiatus, I might try to work a little bit more on the video that I've talked about a few times on stream that I've been wanting to make. Because I really want to, during October, I usually do it every year. I usually play through a series called Yomawari, or do one of the games every year. And hopefully I'm back from my hiatus by October so I can do that again. But there's a really good horror franchise by Nipponichi Software called Yomawari that not a lot of people know about. And I'd love to make a video on it, but it's going to take like an hour just to discuss the tutorial. So do you think Steam will penalize me if I for adding an insulting tag to games that use AI art? I don't know. Depends. Do you want to risk your Steam account? I don't think they'll ban me outright. I mean, you could try. I'm not gonna. Besides, someone has to report that tag. Like, like the tag you add. I mean, true. I can't wait to get to like level 90 content with my Dark Knight. I'm gonna be honest. I'm enjoying Tank. Tanking's actually fun. I feel like I can turn my brain off a little bit more if I'm playing Tank. Because with Sam, I feel like I'm waiting on other party members to do their thing. But as a tank, I can just turn my brain off and fuck off. I could just talk to you guys. Like, it's nice. I feel like I can talk in chat more confidently as a tank. I'm gonna put a transphobia tag on Hogwarts Legacy and nothing happened. Can I? No, I've bitched about that game enough, haven't I? Have I? Have I bitched about that game? I tried playing it, and I just kept getting... Is blue balled the way I could describe this? Where, like, I would hear the Harry Potter theme, and my nostalgia would go, and then I would hear them go, no, John Williams wouldn't let us use it, and they would have to change it every time, and I would get upset, and then I just stopped playing it. Literally because of that. Like, I could not enjoy, like, my nostalgia at all, because at every turn, the game went, no, we're not allowed. Like, I know there are like better reasons to not want to play that game. Mine might be the dumbest, most petty one. Still becoming Dark Knight main. I don't know, it's just fun. I like being a tank. I'm not hating it. It's genuinely like a good time. Something mitigation. I turned it on. I don't blame Hogwarts Legacy, I blame JKR. Look, some people are just shitty. That's my opinion. And I'm going to leave it at that. But no, like, I don't know. I want to do that video at some point. I know I keep talking about it, and it's going to come out, and I will do it at some point. So, you know, while I'm not streaming in September, I may as well finish up the script for it, like, fully. But at this point, I'm 12 pages into a script, and I haven't finished my talking about the tutorial or things related to to the tutorial. And if you've been on stream long enough, you know how short the Yomawari tutorials are. They're like 10 minutes. But I'm 12 pages into a script about the tutorial alone, and there's so much I want to say about that series. I love those games. They're my favorite. Hold on. What do we talk about? We said Okami Mondays. Okami on Mondays. Hold on. Stream after hiatus. Here, I'll just do this for you guys. Okami on Mondays. Saturday is FF14, EX's Rage, Savages. Sunday. Oh, I got you guys. Sunday, collab day, or FF14, a new game plus. YouTube simul stream, because I'll be doing that on YouTube and Twitch at the same time. Fridays will be the same. Friday yapping. Granted, that is if we can maintain the 4 days a week thing. Because my new job's going to be different. I'm going to be in a position that might have my schedule changing every now and then. So, if anything, if I have to, what we'll do is I'll make the schedule a little more fluid, or I'll try, where I'll just post the schedule for that week when I know when I'm free. If I don't have to do that, I'll try to keep it the exact same. At worst, we'll drop it down to 3 days a week. And then what we'll do is we will combine days. So what I'll do is I'll take like Friday, for example, and we'll do yapping for like 2 hours, and then we'll do raiding and savages on Saturday. Like, so we'll combine Saturday and Friday. So whatever it is, we'll make it work. But so I was going to become one of the YouTubers who post State of X Game 8-hour videos. How Y changed my life. What? I mean, I have a thumbnail for you. Yeah, I can show you guys this. I mean, I shouldn't show you guys. Yeah, I shouldn't show you guys. I need to, where is it? Hold on. In the Yomawari video folder. Yeah, because I gotta remake the thumbnail. Look, all I'll say, it'll be titled something that's like the horror game everybody missed, or it'll be the YouTube clickbait shit of, you know, the best horror series you never heard of, or something. I don't know. It's just a daunting thing to make a video like that, because I've talked with Flim about it a lot off stream, and it's a lot of weird like internal pressure of I'm gonna spend all this time, and it's like, yeah, I want to. This game will make you experience true horror. But I'm kind of chipping away at it at the pace that I do with my art when I used to draw, where it's just, I just work on it when I'm in the headspace too, because the main stuff that I enjoy making is I like editing down streams. I like talking on here, and I don't like scripting things. I do not like scripting things. And the reason I don't is because I feel like I'm forcing myself to articulate in a way that I don't want to, which is why I enjoy talking on stream to you guys live. And then I chop that down. It's like a 20-minute video. And when I put it on YouTube, I don't put it up as if it's a stream segment. I don't do that. And I don't know if that's a good or bad thing yet. The videos are doing okay. So I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I don't know how many people click in. And based on my analytics, I don't think it's causing a high bounce rate. But you click into what looks like a YouTube video, and then it's just this. It's just we're playing a game on stream, or I'm just yapping about some random thing. But I love watching that. Like, that's the stuff that I watch now. It's either I'm watching an 8-hour Pyrocynical video that's scripted, or I'm watching a stream segment from someone where they're talking about something off the cuff, because I value someone's in the moment messy opinion over this like curated clinical, this script has been proofread and rewritten 16 times to make sure that everything's articulated right and nothing can be misinterpreted, and like everything is perfectly displayed so you can't misunderstand. It's like, no, I enjoy the conversation that it makes in my comments, even though I don't respond to a lot of them on YouTube. And I don't respond to them not because I don't read them. Like, I read the comments. I just don't respond to a lot of the negative ones or just comments in general, because I'd rather come on stream and talk about the comment there if it's something that I think is worth responding to, which is probably a bad mindset for me to have. But if this is on the VOD, well, this will be on the VOD channel. If you leave a YouTube comment on one of the streams, and if it's like engaging with whatever we're talking about in the video, I'll probably talk about it on stream at some point. But I enjoy the discourse it creates of people wanting to continue the conversation, or someone misunderstanding what I was saying, and then the conversation that creates in the YouTube comments. It's hilarious to see someone misunderstand something that I said, and then there's like 9 replies to it of what I was trying to say, or people also not understanding, and then they're just fighting over what was not said in the video. But and that makes it fun to come on stream and talk about like those comments and those interactions. But I don't know. Go play Okami. Go play Okami. Dawntrail is not as bad as people think it is. FF14 is good. Go play a tank. I was a little wrong. Dark Knight's really fun. Kinda. I haven't done a trial yet with Dark Knight, so I don't know if I'm gonna enjoy tanking a... Like, what the fuck? What am I wearing? What pants are these? These are ugly. These are disgusting. What are these? Get these off. What the hell are these? Get rid of those. Dark Knight's very fun. I love it. I'm actually like really loving it. In dungeons, I want to be clear. I haven't done trials yet. I don't know if I'm going to like it in trials. I don't think I would enjoy Dark Knight in the overworld. I don't think I will play tank when I'm just running around somewhere. I think my running around class is samurai forever. Granted, I do want to play more Pictomancer though. I know we talked about this yesterday when we were running Rathalos, but I do find it fun to just like whip up all my art and my big hammer. And I saw someone.
Make a Dawntrail is better than you think. Video with funny memes.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I have the video editing skills to really hack that. I don't think I can. Because my sense of humor doesn't work that way. I kind of have that going on a little bit with the video for Yomawari, but even then it's very minimal. It's a lot of like stream where I want it to breathe, and I don't. My favorite videos are, so hold on, like here I'm gonna here, you know what? Nope. My favorite YouTube video essay, little cell lore for you guys. I have watched this video essay 30 times. Where is it? It's an older one that he did. It's a really old one. Fear of the Cold. It's 47 minutes.
The scariest story I've ever read was written over 100 years ago by Jack London. It's called To Build a Fire. This story has very few hallmarks of your typical horror writing. There's only one human character, and he is generally very sane. There are no spirits of the dead, no nightmares or hauntings, no guilt that ticks away like a time bomb. And yet, while reading To Build a Fire, I feel paralyzed in a way I haven't felt with any other written work. It is all of 16 pages long. It is about a man freezing to death.
So if you notice, like for about a minute, it's just this shot. Like there's not a lot going on. And yeah, there's some supporting imagery that's brought in to kind of like help. And there's, a little subtitle down here in the bottom right. The video essays I like to watch are these. They're the ones that, and it could be gaming too. It doesn't have to be like a person, standing in a quirky spot or being in the woods or something. It's letting what you want to talk about breathe and pause and exist is more captivating to me than like fancy editing. Like I don't want to do a Maxor video. I'm not going to talk shit on Maxor, but I'm not a fan of Maxor's editing. And I would just, if you want to see the other extreme of what I'm talking about, go watch a Maxor video. Like his editing's crazy. And I mean that in like a genuinely positive way. It is crazy how much goes into a Maxor video when it comes to his editing.
Metal Gear Rising: Sons of Delivery and DiGiorno is my favorite political and economic simulator.
It is this for all the 20 minutes. It is crazy. It is like just insane, nonstop barrage of commentary. It's absurd. I don't like it. It's not for me. But I'm bringing his videos up to say what I would like to make sure mine, whenever I decide to fully dive into video essays at some point, because I know I will. I want to avoid as much unnecessary editing as possible, because I'd rather just let what I want to talk about be the interesting part and have only what I need to engage people. To be fair, at least you don't have a German sense of humor. I'm not kidding. No, I know what you're talking about. Never. But go binge Jacob Geller's videos. If you guys want a good video from him that will get you started on like the gaming side of what he does, because I started watching him when he was at like 200,000 subs. And he only had like 4 videos up. Go watch, where is it? The Search for the Last Great Secret for Shadow of the Colossus. This one's really good. It's 20 minutes. I think this one's fantastic. Uncanny Reality is also really good if you like Silent Hill especially. And I believe the game that made the video that made me want to check out Greener Grass Awaits was, where was it? I think, yeah, this one, Do Not Leave the Dark. He talks about Greener Grass Awaits on this. This one's really, really good. But all of his videos are fantastic. I love Jacob Geller's content. He's one of the like few video essayists on YouTube I watch that I actually think does a consistently confident job in not pandering to the algorithm in this like very obvious way. But this one's also really good. I kind of just want to let this play and watch it. But anyway, the story he's talking about, To Build a Fire, is about a man who's alone, wandering, and you just read as he slowly starts to succumb to hypothermia and freezes to death. And it sucks, and it's not happy. It's very visceral and very vivid. But it's very, very good. But all right, guys. We've been going for about 3 hours. So I think we're going to cut it here. I will be back after the hiatus, I promise. Maybe a YouTube video will pop up. Maybe I'll just burn through the Yomawari video. And you guys might just see it. We'll miss you. I'll miss you guys too. I'll be back, I promise. I'm not doing that thing where it's like small streamer goes, guys, I'm taking a break, and then I disappear. I'll be back. After I get done with the move and everything, first stream back, we will be doing a house decorating stream. Not my actual house, but I'm going to take all of my stuff from my apartment in FF14 and I'll move it over into my house. I think that would be fun. And then I can talk about the move, and I don't know, I got some fun stuff we could talk about it.
I had fun. We will miss you. See you later.
But yeah, go check out Flem. He won't be on hiatus. Go check him out while I'm not live. And I know some of my FC mates stream. Hina does specifically. Hold on. Let me make sure I get her name correct real quick. She doesn't have as concrete of a schedule as I do. Twitch, TV. Is this her? But she's been doing a lot of like Zenless Zone Zero, and I know she was playing Mecha Break recently. But you can check out Hina over there. She's a little bit more laid back than me. Her streams are definitely like not as yap happy as I am. But go check her out. If we ever end up doing Savages and things with the FC, I'll probably be playing with her and some other people. And then there's also Flem on YouTube. But so just a quick timeline and reminder for everybody. Today, this is the last stream for now. I will be back probably by the end of September. I have to get settled into a new apartment somewhere and get internet installed and make sure everything's set up. So expect my audio to be terrible whenever we return. But I'll be back around the end of September. I will be in the Discord. I'm not going to just be offline, but I will literally not have a computer put together. So I will not be able to stream. I will just be on a laptop for a little while. I'll still have VODs going up all through September. Soundproofing foam, use it. It's not that. It's just with audio and like when my room orientation changes, the furniture absorbs sound differently. So it's going to be a lot of figuring that out, which you guys can probably hear some echo right now anyway, but the way my mic is set up, it's not the worst. But yeah, appreciate you guys. Again, if you feel the need, you are more than okay as far as me judging you for canceling your sub for September because there's no content on the stream in September. I don't want you subbed if you're not getting something from the stream. But yeah, we'll probably do something whenever I get back also, aside from just the house deco stream. But go check out Hina. Go check out Flem over on YouTube. He's in the Discord. You guys can find him in there. Yeah, it says he's live right now. He's in the sellouts role, but you can find him there.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad!
All right, guys. Appreciate y'all. I'll see you when I get back. And I'll see you in the Discord. But have a good night. Love you all. Thanks for the support. Bye.